Here, it's that time. It's that time. Will this culminate to much? Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get my hair kind of all over the place, man, right now. But let me get my TikTok fam going. There we go. All right.
Disconnected.
I didn't know anything was connected. It's odd. Let me let me adjust my light. I don't know what's connecting. Can't be this.
Disconnected.
It was. What's up, folks? Hold on. Darken that a bit. Let me brighten my light then a bit if I'm gonna do that. All right. I got to make sure this one is good because this one is gonna be good. Got to make sure it's good because this is gonna be good. This is gonna be really good. Should probably put that more like that. Okay, and it's a little bright. Yeah, I like that better. Uh, that yellow make everything look yellow, especially ooh, blue make it look dead. We'll go for the in between and lower it down a bit. Now it's not so bright in my face. All right. What's up, the Great Boo coming up in here as we get started. Uh, what's up, T? Last sentence said hate that y'all fight not necessary. Sally, what's happening? Good afternoon. Yeah, I'm after I listened to it. I don't feel bad about. The only thing I feel bad about is I was caught off guard with the Negro cloth thing because I didn't research. I didn't research Negro cloth, the denim compared to the indigo. By the time I was on his panel, I did that afterwards and then made my videos about it, which still debunked him even worse. But but the entire time, I never once denigrated him. So to go on a tirade for 20 minutes calling me homo, yeah, that's your response from your man from FBAs who love this man. Crew Rot, what's happening? Said that picture. Wow, what? Why? That's what he did. That's what he just chose to do. He said, "Great continuation, Salmon. I am standing with you on this fight." Thank you so much, Mama Chief Powhatan. Much love to you. I appreciate that. I'm definitely here for us. And look, I'm always cool if people decide to come to their senses and come this way and start listening to us from over there on the FBA side after they get through clowning. I understand our people have been led astray by a clowning pimp, former pimp is what they say, right? So since he's denigrated me a lot, it's pretty much open season for me to talk my shit on this live stream. And you will hear me do it. But we got to get to the facts. Otherwise, I wouldn't be me. And once I get once I get past it, I'm pretty sure I want to go into some other real topics because for those who know what we've been really dealing with, I've been reading more newspapers about the church wardens, about Negro slaves. Found something else about Negro cloth. We'll get to that. Also, how they talking about the warden of the workhouse and Negro cloth. So not only has this dynamic situation between me and Tariq has came to a head, but the things about it have somehow combined together to show me some shit like this. I know what a warden of the workhouse is. And the fact that he's talking about he went away in some white Negro cloth. Do you know the warden of the workhouse would have been somebody from England, the Church of England, or one of his majesty's little minions? Do you know how sinister this is? And I find Negro cloth there. Not saying that the kid made Negro cloth, he ran away in it. So you cooked him, John. I appreciate that. I tried to cook him even worse, but he got the clowning and talking shit. Then all of a sudden, it's just nothing but gay jokes for the next 30 minutes. Typical Tariq. You know what I mean, bro? You came in tight with a lot of aggression. Why didn't you approach a little calmer? We're gonna watch this back. You're gonna. I love how people say that. Like when we watch this back, you see how I talk. This is how I talk. If I'm coming in with aggression, that's aggression. Me talking like this, okay, so you're gonna tell me that this right here is not what it is, this Negro cloth is not what you're looking at, that's aggression? Or are y'all some FBA Karens today? Because Tariq talks with hell of aggression when he talks about other people. Remember when Fat Joe had put out talking points about who created hip hop? Oh, that's just a talking point. What did Tariq do? Stay on his ass, follow him around everywhere he went to make sure he can see anytime Fat Joe says something about hip hop, who was there to combat it. Oh, tables turn when the information is correct on my end, huh? I can't correct a man. All of a sudden, I'm aggressive. Did you hear how he talked about Fat Joe on them live streams long ago? I ain't got time. I tried to spend about 5 to 10 minutes going through some old live streams. I wasn't about to spend hours. He got hours of old live streams. If I was to find the old live streams from when he first put out started talking about Fat Joe before he put out the damn hip hop movie or whatever, it's the first thing he was doing was talking all loud and aggressive about Fat Joe. I can't believe Fat Joe's out here saying this. Fat Joe this and that, and y'all like that, yeah, FBA. But a nigga like me come up, why are you so aggressive? Why you come up there with so much energy? You can't soft shoe it in. You can't make sure you come across correct to our king, our master, our fucking master. Fuck ass niggas. You ain't miss shit, Alicia. What's happening? The gorgeous Alicia, the amazing Alicia. How you doing? Johnny come lately. Negro. I don't know what the hell you did by just typing that in. That was dumb. He never said you were wrong. You came in aggressive. You must not have heard what I heard. And in fact, as I as I read through the comments, obviously y'all niggas don't hear the same thing that I hear. And I experienced it, and I watched it back to make sure. I'm like, I had a slight elevation of tone, like what I am right now, a little bit of a slight elevation of like I'm not talking like this, but I don't really talk like this. You'll never really hear me ever on any talking panel get up and talk like this. This is not how a nigga talk, nigga. It's not how I fucking talk. I'm supposed to adjust my motherfucking tone for who, nigga? Adjust my tone for who, nigga? Y'all niggas weird. Say United Negro College Fund. Uh yeah, yeah, that's all he kept doing. Kept muting after that. After I started making points. What's up, I am my ancestors? Yeah, we about to go through it. We about to listen. Tariq couldn't answer questions about them documents, so he started calling it exactly. Exactly. And he was like, he asked me what my primary source is. Later on, he's making fun of who asked for primary sources. I mean, I know I done taught history to y'all for like 15 years, and ain't nobody ever asked me to really show a source. Who asked for showing sources about history? God damn it. We ain't got sources. We don't do that. We put Pan-African niggas on camera and let them tell you. That's my goddamn source, nigga. Alim Bey. Not Alim Bey. Alim Bey ain't never been on there. Alim Bey's cool. What's that? Tariq Bey. Goddamn, that's my source. A bunch of Pan-African frat boys. Dumbass niggas. Ain't no source. And I can't wait till I'm about to play this bitch. You should always have a primary source for everything. If you teaching history, if you just doing some political mumbo jumbo, you still need sources. But at least if you just spitting a little opinion, did y'all hear what they said on the news last night? Okay, whatever, nigga. No, whatever. You make documentaries about history, putting yourself as the subject matter expert to a degree over the community about history because of the way you say it and present yourself and the information you put out. But you don't have primary sources, and you get mad when people ask you for a primary source, and then not only get mad, I can understand like how you gonna ask me for a primary source on the Reddit, even though I be having them. I can understand you getting annoyed with that, but to make fun of people asking about primary sources, it makes me wonder where you get your information. Really makes me wonder where the fuck you get your information, dumbass niggas. At this point, I didn't denigrate the nigga whatsoever. And I got to sit there and listen to him twice for 20 to 30 minutes call me homo. I get to say whatever the fuck I want to say. He called me a bitch. He called me a punk. He called me a queen. Notice he called me a queen. Notice the Indian community just started looking up what really the word queen is. Some people already knew. Some of our word experts already knew. Wife connects to queen, queen connects to prostitution, or how a homo might be like you a queen, right? Funny, Tariq knows really well some of these words like ethnogenesis. Like, who said that they want me to? Somebody said, I hope that somebody needed to disprove ethnogenesis. Who's ready for that discussion? Who's ready for the discussion of where did he get the word ethnogenesis from? Who was the first person to even coin the phrase ethnogenesis? What the fuck is an ethnogenesis besides what your master has told you it is? Besides what your master have told you it is. Oh, we gonna find out today. We gonna find out today where that shit comes from. We gonna find out who was some of the first people talking about ethnogenesis and what does it mean. We're gonna talk about how many books there are even on ethnogenesis and where the word would have come from, because he didn't just poof think about it out of his Pan-African friends and his minds. Who came up with the term? Who read the term somewhere first, and where did they read it? Because obviously they didn't create it. It's used in the newspapers in goddamn 1867. Obviously you didn't create the term. So where did you read it? Because if you read what I read about it, you damn sure wouldn't be championing it for your people. You wouldn't be doing that. You wouldn't be doing that. And notice how this is talking about ethnogenesis in goddamn South Carolina. I didn't even notice that in 1867. I damn sure need to go reread that one. But uh yeah, who were some of the first people talking about an ethnogenesis, and why were they talking about it? What did it mean? Why were they talking about doing it to see people in Central Asia? Also, Russians. You want to keep your ethnogenesis? You go ahead. It ain't got shit to do with my motherfucking bloodline, my lineage, my real genealogy back where Tariq will never show you who the fuck he is, nigga. But I will put my goddamn ancestry on the motherfucking line every day of the motherfucking week. Pretendian my motherfucking ass, nigga. I got at least 20 people, with proven paperwork. I ain't got to pretend about a goddamn thing. I got paperwork of some of my people being unalived by KKK members who were reverends, part of the warden system, or they were somebody who was trying to go against that system. As they said in the newspaper, he voted for the radical ticket as a Republican. He had to be offed. That information, I got him. You want to see real quick? Since I got people on here so I can show what I say, show everything I say. What the hell was I just thinking about? Yeah, I was showing right here. Duh. Ku Klux Klan. History of the Ku Klux Klan. But before I go there, it's in the newspapers. Where that newspaper at? Right here. What's this say? Why do I fight for these people like Mr. Abraham Wimble? Mr. Abraham, why do I fight for the colored preacher Abraham Wimble? Now, at first, when I saw this, after I just learned about the church warring things and how ministers would be appointed, but that was in earlier times. I had to start thinking when he came about, that was early 17th, but he was still pretty early times too. But more 1850, 1860ish, I think. But like when was this? This was 1871. So this was 1871 when he passed. So this was a little bit afterward, but he could have been sucked into the system of being a preacher and then found out the harsh realities that we've learned over some time that preachers were doing through baptismal records, giving those to the church wardens, allowing them to take out stocks or loans against you for your labor, for apprenticeship labor, not for so-called slavery. But regardless of that, he was shot and unalive. All right. 2 years after the 1865. 1871. 6 years after the 1865, the so-called end of slavery, right? Who am I doing this shit for? People like Chief Watkins, who I didn't realize until I was listening to Pistol Pens Live today while I was out doing my business, that she was like, don't. Now, we just remembered that we just found out that, and we've known for some time, some of us, that they have been taking our children and our women, orphans, making them orphans, often the husbands, if they could, in certain wars, some not. And those that did end up in that situation, sometimes they would end up as orphans. Sometimes they would kidnap folks, right? We got that. We got that. Let's show that. So we showing everything we say. We not no goddamn Tariq sit here for 3 hours every day with you and never show you a goddamn thing other than some news article a couple of times here and there, or a nigga to talk shit about. Okay. So now we're gonna pull up. Oh yeah, the what you call it? I might already have it pull up right here. So we already know that It says right here, to those, right here, we're going to read this. To those who know, the Indians' attachment to their homes and the strength of the family ties which binds them, it is plain that no surer way could be found of developing in them an undying hatred for the white people than this persistent kidnapping of their people. We may be quite sure that the warriors would hardly pay for the cost of capture, and that the bulk of the unfortunates sent into slavery. When we talk about slavery, there's a difference between who was prisoners of war, who was apprentices, who was enslaved because they were arrested, who different things. But they were slaves, were either women or children. All right. What's up, Amor? She said, I love the high lighter feature for your flavor. I know, right? I love that so much. I got to use it every time. Once the true connection between the Indians and the Hebrews are understood, we are one under Yah. I understand you. I feel you on that, Yasha. We appreciate you. Appreciate you. The Sunshine, the amazing, beautiful Sunshine, and the amazing, beautiful Amor. All the women in here, man. Amazing, beautiful women, man. And the niggas, I'm not gonna comment on your looks, nigga. But y'all my niggas. Y'all my niggas. You know what I'm saying? Said all those articles too. Okay, so we know for a fact, right? And Penn said something that I didn't think about. She said, that they were going around kidnapping the chief's children. It finally went off in my head what might have happened between Chief Colasacha Watkins and Jake Mitchell and James Chief, who which are brothers of that. And we have the last thing I seen from him is he was writing a letter to the Freedmen's Bureau, bitch ass Freedmen's Bureau. And y'all want to use the goddamn term freedman. We're gonna go into that too, if you got time. Yeah, family of Andrew Watkins. Letter at the Freedmen's Bureau, okay? From the 1800s, 1865. He was looking for help because his children were in Indian territory at the time in Oklahoma, and he couldn't go in there to get them. It was too dangerous. Why was it too dangerous? The KKK was running amok. I just showed you how one of my folks got off. But I also stand on loves who were reclassified. But the proof of their history comes from two interracial marriages, supposed interracial marriages. At least one for sure. One's a French woman, and the record says she was pale. Although I'm still curious about that. Homahota, Imahota, love, the Indian, which we do have a photograph of. Let her beautiful face be shown on this live stream. This is digitized, colorized. This is non-colorized. This is colorized. Said I got time because I'm currently watching the interview with my greatest grandpa was a freedman. Why is the man using European culture where LGBT word? You know what I'm saying? Especially when he used that term queen. We just started really we just started putting two together. Some of us over here about what a queen was. Here we are thinking it's some high up position, but that's to make fun of matriarchy. So you be establishing patriarchy. That's funny too. So now we're gonna, this is my pretendianism ain't up for question. I can go through, we can show record after record. Let me see. I might be able to pull it up. I ain't subscribed no more. I done subscribed to this for so many times. Until I feel like doing some more whatever. I'm not subscribing no more. Yep. But we can go through record after record. Okay, I wanted to zoom in on the full blood on that bitch. We can go through record after record of Indian after Indian that I have on my motherfucking tree, land patents. I got all that shit, man. What the fuck you mean? Land patents, allotted land from the 5 civilized tribes, which is different from the land patents. Um, Look, there's the land patent. No, that's not the land patent right there. It might have been under his dad. Hold on one second. This is a thing about their land in Luther, but I want to show you where the patent, so you actually see the real thing. It must be under Lawrence. Yeah. My pretendianism ain't up for debate. I'm a real goddamn Indian. Okay, there it is right there. A patent. Okay, signed. Okay, says in there, if I could get in there, uh that it goes to you and your heirs forever. Okay. And once I go through the process and figure out, what the claiming thought, blah, 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 which I kind of have an idea on it, but we'll battle that at another time. Some people are already going through it, and some people have already gone through it and have shown proof. But let's just say this: if Lawrence Battle is an Indian, or let's just say this, if all these people on Mitchell's line are Indians, right? If Jake is an Indian, Chief is an Indian, Dean is a chief, their folks prior to them are Indians, all these people are Indians. What does it make everybody on these lines after that that's coming from these lines, not necessarily these up here, makes them Indians? The fuck you thought it made them? Some kind of ethnogenesis? There's some European somewhere now. I seen it. And I think I seen a red native somewhere in there too. Scrounging around graping people. Mass graping stories affirmed by your master who never proves it. Just go with it. You've been massively raped, every one of you. How could it not happen? Every one of us was on the plantation. How could it not happen? That's what y'all fall for. That's what the fuck y'all fall for. Everybody want on, and then you know it didn't, because somebody will tell you that they were free niggas. Yeah, I do know. You just let this man told you that everybody was on the plantation. Yeah. But he also said there was free niggas. Yeah. Go to church, nigga. Go to church. You a church nigga. You a church nigga. Go to church. That nigga's preaching to you. That's just like when they say, let us create men in our image. Wait a minute. I thought you just said it was God that was creating things right now by himself. Yeah. But he said, let us create man in our image. That's multiple people. Yeah. So how does it go from one God to multiple people? The Bible. Oh, the preacher. That's how it went that way. The preacher. He did an ethnogenesis on your Lord and Savior. Did you think about it? He added 2 extras in there. Look at that correlation. He said, no, it ain't just a Jesus. There's a red Jesus in there a little bit too. Yeah. A little bit of that YT Jesus got in there too. That little YT guy got in here too. So you got the black God, you got the red God, and you got the maybe that's you. That ain't me. That ain't most of the people that come to our motherfucking panels looking for information. We don't come here to clown. Some of us do, and I ain't tripping on that either. Clown them niggas. I don't come here to clown. Some of us don't come here to clown. But I will clown your ass. Okay, so let's get to it, man. My pretendianism, my Indianism, which ain't a word, neither one. My Indian is not up for debate. It is kind of dark, huh? Let me brighten this up 1 second. Yeah, that shit ain't up for goddamn debate. and I can go further, but regardless of the 20 something people I have with actual paperwork of ancestors being Indian coming from Oklahoma, meaning not all Oklahomans, but all my family went to Oklahoma on my tree after the dog. I mean, during the Dawes Rose or during the Dancer Rabbit Treaty. I'm sorry, during 1830 to 1845. I have the migration pattern of the so-called Trail of Tears on my fucking tree. You ain't gotta ask me. Don't nobody know what the fuck Tariq is. Nobody know. And he gonna keep it a secret. And his wife. And his whole fucking family. But he gonna ask you about your whole life. Everybody come on. Who's your family? What about your mother? Uh-huh. 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 So what about your grandma? I smell a tether somewhere. Are y'all serious? 5 years, 6 years, 7 years of that shit? And can't nobody question his folks? You gotta be a fucking peon. A fucking peon. Yeah, right. He said he an agent. Tariq a goddamn agent. I believe it. I know it now. The terminology like plebiscite. Who knows what the fuck a plebiscite is? Y'all don't even know. FBAs don't fucking know. And he's been saying that shit to you and using it in a negative connotation for a long time. Oh, that's plebiscite babble. Well, thanks to the great Rashad, the word genius, we start looking these things up. Might as well look it up since it's in my title, right? What is a plebiscite? A direct vote of the people, an expression of the will or pleasure of the whole people in regard to some matter already decided upon. A decree or resolution of the people. A decree or the common people. So do you probably let let you understand what it's saying here. FBAs, I'm gonna take it slow for you. I'm gonna take it slow for you. Plebiscite babble means the common people, which are you, those who are not high class would be common people or rich, right? Who come together to express their will or pleasure about a particular matter. People who come together, who express themselves regard for a particular matter, he calls that babble. Let the people who's lower than him come together and start having a concern about things together. You babbling, nigga. Plebiscite babble. How would he? Why would he not know that the word didn't mean anything negative? Or does he really know what the word means and knows you don't, and he's using it every day to fuck with you? You didn't know what ethnogenesis meant. You know what he told you. What did Tariq tell you it was? Well, it's when we start nothing new, it's the genesis of an ethnic group. My ethnic group never died. Some people's ethnic group never touched another ethnic group. And then many people, even if they've had any admixture, it's very minimal. 1, 2 melanated Europeans, usually, which we'll show proof of. No Africans, no red natives you add in, because that's the thing you continuously keep saying, red natives. but you place them, you do separate them from so-called black natives, but you place them in a category as if they were, I don't know, you double speak so much, it's really kind of hard to tell where you trying to be with it. You put them in certain, so you basically, I like, you try to give black people so-called credit that they came here, but you still try to say they came from Africa at some point because you go with the whole Africa DNA thing, right? So it's still, we come from Africa, we got African DNA. At some point, some apparent Africans landed over here, and apparently some red natives came maybe later. He does say later, but then he starts to say he's still using them as buffer classes because they were used as a buffer class for us to pretend like who we are, the real Pretendians. But what he's doing is not really saying that they're the real Indians. He's just saying that why would you even try to reclaim or go into any kind of looking into these tribes or any kind of Indian history whatsoever, because these tribes are defunct. These tribes have been taken over. Why would you even look into that truth and history? Well, we got reasons why we look into it. The people on my motherfucking tree is why I look into it. I can tell you that. And let me make sure my I'm pretty sure it should be fine, but let me just make sure because ain't nobody. It looks like I got quite a few people watching over there, but let me see what the sound, what my sound looks like. Yeah, we got 62 people over here in YouTube. Sound sounds good. Appreciate y'all being here, even the ones that might be hating that I ain't read the comments yet. and everybody in my TikTok. You said the live skipping. Hopefully it starts getting a little bit better, y'all. Last time it was my computer started overheating. I had a little bit too much shit going. Okay. So let's get so plebiscite babble. So if I'm a plebiscite Pretendian, I've already proven to you two things. We're gonna be have this as a debunk Tariq fucking show. And I won't be staying on this. Ain't I'm finna be chasing this nigga around every live stream. Y'all know me. I got so much history. I got to go look up. I ain't got time to be clowning this nigga every day. Like this nigga got time to clown fucking everybody else every day. I ain't got time for that shit. Do you know how many more newspapers I got to go? To be honest with you, I got to go. Now that I know that we found the point of where it all went bad for the most, for some of us, not all, right? But we found the point of where it all kind of went awry with the propagation of the church wardens, and pastors, and this and that and the third, right? So, lost my train of thought. Oh, so now I'm like, nigga, do you know I still got the Yamasi book. I got books that I need to go through for that I'm studying for so I can finish writing that. Co-writing it. I'm sorry, co-writing, helping co-write. And really, I'm just kind of adding in my sprinkles because the amazing Chief Sekou did a tremendous job on the history. The way that it worked is he sent me the book that he had already did and said he wanted me to co-write it. I decided not to do any history about the Yamasi on purpose until the documentary we're going to do. I didn't even know I was going to co-write the book, but we're going to do a documentary. But then when I got the book, I did my history research. As I read the book, I said, damn, he's on point. But then as I dig deeper and further, I find this. And now that I know where the point is, where this, I got to goddamn read every newspaper that I can from South Carolina, North Carolina, in between the years of 1720 to goddamn 1790. You know I'm not going to read every single one of them, but I'm damn sure going to skim through a whole lot of them bitches. And I have been. I have a whole lot of things I have to do to get information to my people. You know how long it sat here for him to probably sit here and make a goddamn meme? I mean, don't get me wrong, probably didn't take him forever. I don't even know where the hell you got the photograph. I guess AI you can probably upload my name and AI can see me and somehow make it for you, or whatever the hell. It's definitely AI generated. But notice the apartment looking dusty in the background. He trying to call me broke or something. I'm a single man. I ain't got the world. But I haven't worked for nobody in almost 6 years. I've had my own businesses, and I've lived downtown for quite some time. 42, got some ways to go, got some things to hit, but broke niggas don't have a couple of different key fobs, a couple of different Benz key fobs. And I don't live with nobody. Don't nobody else have nothing else. Why would I need two Benz key fobs if I was in a dusty apartment? Huh. Two late model Benz key fobs at that. Not so dusty. A nigga don't sit up in apartments like that with two Benzes. Unless you just weird. That'd be weird. And I got that not off the backs of my people, bitch, nigga. I got that off the back of my hard work in my own businesses and my skills picked up through life and this brain of mine that I use for my people. Sorry, y'all know I ain't reading. I'm cooking. What's happening? Peace. All right. So a dusty apartment, I don't know where the hell you got that idea. Got a nice little whatever. I ain't gonna lie, I don't stay in the biggest apartment in the world. I don't need a big guy in a giant apartment. I stay in a studio downtown. And people used to clown, oh, you stay in the studio. I got a 6-room a 6 office and a break room podcast studio that I pay for. And I also have another business that's my main bread and butter business. Podcast studio is getting now. Been going there for a year. We just updated we had 2 locations. And one location had 2 sets, and it was kind of like an old set. And then we had another location over here in the apartments, another set. Then we done went and closed that down, moved it over there. Now we got 3 sets over there, plus a music studio, plus a photography studio, whatever the case may be. So broke ain't it. Hard working, hella intelligent and marketing genius, advertisement genius. I just ain't never had access to capital like that. And when I start getting my inventions going, y'all better watch the fuck out. And these documentaries and these films and this all this stuff, man. Whatever. Let's get to this game. Let's get to this game, man. Talking my little shit. And yeah, you know what? Let me, before I do that, because this is about that Negro cloth, let's quickly dispel my problem. We're gonna go through it. We're gonna go through it while we watch the video. Actually, let me pull that video up. Fuck it. We can do that all at the same time. What's up, Monet? You said talk slow. Oh, he's slow. You know they slow. Now let's yeah, you know, anytime somebody say I'm broke, I'm gonna flash something I got going on. I'll just flash a nigga my camera bag, nigga. My camera bag worth about 10K. Fuck out of here, bitch. He got a dusty apartment. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to find my. Okay, there we go. No, that's not it. Damn, hold on. Confused. Where's my window with the Oh, there it is. Got too many windows up. All right, here we go. Let me get past that. Year history. Also, now YouTube, I'm hoping I don't get a strike because I'm playing somebody's shit back. What they say, you gotta say, this is fair use. Whatever the fuck. Everywhere else, I should be good, but we'll see. I'll pause it multiple times, making sure I give good content in between. Indigo plantations, and we're growing indigo. Hold on, right here. Seeds. Damn. Seeds. Where did you get the information that indigo dye was done? Hold on, y'all. Here we go. Go ahead, sir. I'll hop on camera so that way you can see me. Yes, sir. I'll also flip it so we can see receipts. Where did you get the information that indigo dye was done in slavery? Now, my voice tone is already like it is. That's how I talk. Where did you get the information that indigo dye was done in slavery? And I'm also talking at my phone, not directly into a mic. Where did you get the information where, you kind of got to talk at your phone, you know? But I'm not loud. If I was loud, I'd be crazy, right? But no, it's not loud. That's people being Karens.
The Carolinas, they were growing indigo. They were dyeing jeans with indigo over here, sir.
Where did you get that information as far as the source?
It's in different slave narratives.
In a slave narrative? In a slave narrative? Nigga was talking about wearing nigga cloth. First of all, I didn't even show y'all. The Mr. Wamble, I'm glad he said that. The Mr. Wamble who had been unalived in my family, the colored preacher who was unalived, Mr. Abraham Wimble, who's on my tree, he was unalived in 1871, right? They did a slave narrative on him. The slave narratives were done in like 1905, 1906, like right there. Typewriters prepared by the Federal Writers Project, 1936, 1938. I started looking to seeing if it was one of his descendants, because there was an Abraham Wimble, another Wimble, there's a couple of Andy Wimbles, but it says Reverend, and they're reverends. And even in here, even in this slave narrative, it says that he's a reverend. I'll have to pull up the narrative. It says that he's a reverend, but he was unalived. How could they have a slave narrative of an unalived man? Well, if you've read slave narratives, like I've actually read slave narratives, you would know that most slave narratives sound like bullshit. Most of them sound like made up stories. When I went through Mr. Wamble's story, they never even said his first name, never said the first name of his brothers, his mom, his grandparents, and everybody else that he talked about. Well, Mr. Wimble went to Reverend Wimble, and he was close to Grandfather Wimble, and he would get beat all the time, and we'd beat, and it had all kind of stories of beatings, all kind of stories of beatings. It was so absurd. And crazy stories of him hearing beats. Reverend Wimble can remember the times when he was young, 6 years old or something, maybe 4. I think they were supposed to 1871. Well, I had to get back into his age, but he was just talking about as he laid on the sofa, he could hear the screams of the slaves in the back room being whipped and punished some more, as he just got through being whipped. It's just like, oh my God. This shit is fake as hell. When I first was reading it, I didn't know that my people was in there, their name, when I was going through it. But when I went and read Mr. Wamble, Reverend Wamble's story, that's how his story was. The other people's story was stupid too. Hella stupid. But regardless, I ain't got time to get into that. But that's what you're talking about. And think about this. Yo backup sources, slave narratives from 1938, from niggas who were on the tail end of slavery. Because if you're writing it based upon 1938 niggas, I got too much information. If you writing it upon 1938 niggas being alive at that time, slavery ended in 1865. That's 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. That's at least 80 to 90-year-old niggas. That means that if they were enslaved for any time after that, prior to 1865, they would have been less than 10 years old. You want me to go off the mind of a 10-year-old or less on what the fuck they experienced through slavery? Or you want me to think that they're telling the truth about this? You want me to believe that a 5-year-old can remember picking indigo and dyeing jeans, nigga cloth? You was a dumb motherfucker. You got to be stupid if that's your source. Said preacher. Talking over their heads. This is Jim Crow era, bro. Man, you got to be stupid. See, I can't break it when you're on a live stream. You can't break it down like you want to. Imagine I brought that up on that live stream. Well, you got you brought all this stuff prepared for me. Yo, pussy must have been warm for Tariq. Yeah, yeah. Let me tell you, like I like to tell everybody else, yo, pussy been ready for Tariq. Yeah, yeah. I like to make it seem like you the one that's like that, but really, I like saying it to y'all because I like hearing me say it. I like people to know that I like y'all bussy on my mind. That don't make no goddamn sense. Who talks about that kind of shit over and over again? I've heard you for years say this shit. You think I'm not surprised you said it about me, nigga? That's your go-to. Nigga didn't have shit else to say. Slave Riders Project, Bussy. Bussy, Bussy, Bussy. Okay, okay. This nigga stupid. I can't believe it. Cut it off at that point. What's up, Enola? So let's keep going.
There's indigo plantations that were growing indigo and they were using it as dye. Where did they dye jeans? Well, see,
He said that there was plantations and they was indigo and they had dyes. So what were they dying? So that was his answer. Where did you learn that from? Oh, slave narratives and plantations had it. That's about as far as you looked. Okay, well let's keep going.
the Encyclopedia of American Indian Contributions to the World, and inside of that, it'll tell you that indigo was cultivated here in Peru, and that it is indigenous. This particular strand, Indigo sucoforescos or whatever, is indigenous and comes from the West Indies. And it has also, if you were to Google it, it will tell you.
Now don't get me wrong. My voice is a little, I guess, what would you say? Not passionate, stern. If you Google it and this, I'll say that. I ain't the most inviting right now. Should I be? Think about this. Should I be? When Fat Joe said that hip hop done 50-50, this nigga flipped the top. Flipped his top. I know he didn't. 50-50. This they trying to push back the timeline on hip hop creation, talking about it's 1860 or not 1980s. You got to go what back further to find the truth. Ain't that what I'm doing with Indigo? Ain't that what I'm doing with Indigo right now? Trying to keep you from taking the 6,000 year old Indian history and summing it up to your ethnogenesis of 1870 on just a plantation thing. Well, they were mixing it in the plantation, and I believe a nigga said something about it in the slave narrative. And you put out documentaries, sir? You put out historic documentaries, sir, and you don't want people to dig back into the history? I thought history is where you look and go as far back as you can go to see the origins of things. Unless your talking point was just supposed to be not that it was created, but just that we worked on it and we had to wear it and niggas. But that wasn't it. You were trying to flex on an African. That's what you were trying to do. We'll pull up that video too. You were trying to flex on an African. And what do we do when we try to flex on it? Oh, we did this first. We did this. Why would you be? Because think about this, y'all. If you're not championing the creation of nigger cloth, and nigger cloth was really imported from France, if you knew the history, and nigger cloth was really imported from France. The denim was made in France, created in France, utilizing cotton. Cotton started from here. been using cotton here for the longest, been making cotton pants in America for the longest. We just didn't probably, I need to look further. There could be some denim tied history. I didn't take forever on it. Denim tied history to the Indians, but apparently it says France. But basically, it's nothing but cotton pants. Let me pull it up. It's nothing but 100% cotton pants. The difference that make denim versus like a different type of pair of pants is the diagonal pattern in which it's sewn, giving it that coarse, durable kind of whatever. Okay, but it's typically made of, over here it would just be made of pretty much cotton, but over there it says cotton wool or cotton wool blend. Okay, now it says it was manufactured for the clothing of enslaved Africans. Okay, but I also showed that I wasn't even looking for this until I wasn't even looking for this at all, right? But we know that I found it. We ended up finding that Negro cloth was being imported right here, just imported, blue and white Negro cloth. So if it's being imported in 1732, obviously it wasn't created here by us, by so-called slaves, I should say. Now, indigo was created here, possibly denim pattern sewn, but maybe not. When I look up the Indians, and on this, I did make a mistake. I was like, I could show you an Indian wearing denim. That was my bad. It was an Indian wearing pants that were cotton, that were not sewn in a diagonal pattern, but they were pants that were cotton. So, I mean, just think about it though. The only difference between the Indians making pants out of cotton and dyeing them with indigo and France making it and calling it nigger cloth is the fact they did a different pattern and maybe added a wool blend. Okay. But it's not like the American Indians did not have indigo dyed pants. Understandably so, not denim. At least that I found yet. Okay. So let's keep going.
That also this fabric has been around and been in use indigenously for over 6,000 years. Fabric? What fabric? Which fabric? Which fabric? Because you're all over the place.
Yeah, I did kind of mess up. That was me right there. You know, when you go live, yellow, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I was like, indigo is being manufactured, being used here for 6,000 years. Denim, not necessarily. Plus, at that time, I didn't know about the nigger cloth shit. I didn't know. So I got to be honest with it. It's almost like he caught me off guard with that. And so in my head, I was like, but that ain't got nothing to do with indigo. Because I knew for a fact that we had blue pants as Indians here. I didn't have it right on the denim part. But hey, you lose that one. But some people can admit when they're wrong. For me, it was really just a play on the words. I was really just talking about the indigo and dyed pants. But we'll keep going. That's why I had the indigo Chippewas already pulled up. But let's keep going.
Indigo. Indigo is not a fabric, sir. So you're losing. And denim. Indigo and denim. We've been. I can show you indigo.
And to be honest, when I said indigo and denim, at the time I did look up denim, and I'm gonna show you what I looked up. It said that it was a 100% cotton material. So at the time, I just went with it. I was like, oh, I didn't look too far. I was like, okay. I think I did it with my phone. I was like, okay, 100% cotton material dyed with indigo. Nigga, we've done that. You know what I'm saying? But I read further and I was like, oh, with a diagonal pattern. Okay. Well, we didn't dye diagonal patterned things, but we made the indigo. And that was my whole point, was about the indigo. Because he said that about the indigo, which I want to pull that up real quick. Let me pull it up. Let me play it real quick. I shouldn't lose my spot. Let's see. Let's see how this works. We might let 4 windows up here.
Let me build on that some. Hold on.
Man, it does let you do that. Okay. So when he's saying let me build on that, I think that dude's name is Dennis. He came in my live stream, funny enough, right when I was about to talk about Tariq or whatever, but for that first live stream. But or after that live, whatever it was. But long story short, He just got, I think it's Daniel. He just got through telling him about something that we created. He was like, such and such was created by foundational Black Americans. And so when he's saying, let me build on this, what does that mean to you? What is that insinuating to you? That's insinuating, let me tell you something else that we've created in a sense, right? But let's listen.
Part of that for the whole time.
Let me build on that. Hold on. Let me build on that. Even blue jeans, sir, that came out of foundational Black Americans in slavery. The denim, they called it Negro. Yeah, the blue jeans. You got blue jeans. Yeah, because we knew how to work the indigo and we knew how to dye. And
blue jeans came out of foundational Black Americans in slavery. Now, what do you think came out of means? Is he just a hell of a good wordsmith to not say created? So he said came out of, so he can say technically I didn't say created, but what does came out of mean? Wouldn't you say that means created? Or do you want to say that maybe we just influenced the blue jean culture? But it came out, especially when old boy just talked about things that were created. And he said blue jeans, and then he threw in the indigo. I wasn't the only one that threw it in as if both were the same, as if they were somewhat synonymous. Right? Let's play that back for a second.
let me build on that. Hold on. Let me build on that. Even blue jeans, sir, that came out of foundational Black Americans in slavery. The denim.
In slavery. It came out of foundational Black Americans in slavery. No, that's like you trying to say hip hop came out of 1980s with Dominicans, bitch. Ain't that what you got mad about him for and them for? No, you got to go back to 1950. And I believe that. Yes, of course. I'm not shitting on that whole idea. Of course, I believe that. That's definitely true. So how can you shit on somebody trying to say you got to go back further in the history before you do what? Erase us. Just like you weren't trying to have us erased out of hip hop. Are y'all that simple, FBAs? You only know erasure when it's your daddy telling you being erased? Or us common plebiscite folk who he says are babbling? That's it, frying extra grease, Cookham said. That's exactly what he meant. Exactly. The cotton and the sandwich. Yeah. Let this finish playing too.
They call it Negro. Yeah, the blue jeans. You got blue jeans. Yeah, because we knew how to work the indigo and we knew how to dye and make up the dye, the blue dye with the indigo. And the
he didn't even know what. Yeah, we knew how to work the indigo and we knew how to work the dye and make the squeeze the indigo and things. What? Did you explain something or did you just kind of babble your damn self? That sounds like motherfucking babbling to me. Yeah. We knew how to work the dye and we squeezed it and I think we moved it around or something and but it was in slavery. Just know that it was in slavery. I can't tell you shit else about it. I have no sources. I can't tell you nothing. And my sources, I'm gonna tell you. This nigga said slave narratives. This nigga said slave narratives was a source, y'all. Yeah, I think I read a slave narrative that said he remembered pinching on some indigo and squeezing out the blue innards. You don't know how this works. You ain't looked this shit up at all. You don't know what the fuck going on.
The jeans. So we were cultivating blue jeans as we know it, sir. The dungarees. Yeah. So yeah, talking about the white man's clothes.
What's cultivating mean? He tends to know words and use them certain ways. He's either using plebiscite wrong or he's fucking with you. He's either using it wrong or he's really fucking with y'all. Cultivate of land, till, prepare for crops. Yeah, y'all slaved over it. He just told you we cultivated. Now, if you was to hear that, you would think, yeah, that's us. We created it. He's letting you know you slaved for it. Oh, let me throw this up so y'all can see it. He's letting you know you tilled, prepared the crops raised or produced by tillage, the denim and indigo, according to him, the cotton and indigo plants. But you would think that meant created. It's all about words and feelings and how you feel. Now, at the same time, because he's been battled with it, combated with a valid person with sources like myself, now his FBA people be like, he didn't really say created. Like that word itself didn't actually come out of the lip. I was watching them. They juicy, according to him, because he likes to say stuff like that to men. That's y'all. It ain't me. I don't say shit like that. But and I don't have no problem. Look, to be talking about men that's like that forever, all the time, dude. And throwing that label on everybody, you got a sick problem. You got a problem with LGBT folks, and you got a problem with yourself. I ain't got no problems. Don't get me wrong. I've thrown it around a few times on some mad shit. I tell myself I shouldn't do that though. Like you've seen we've all seen some reputable folks in the lifestyle that perfectly fine out there, and they advocate hard for the causes. So even me, and you should have done it too. Even me, as a person who knows that I'm starting to be okay, people are listening to me, whatever. I don't want to go off and be known for that and telling people they that just because, or even if they are, and sound like, why is that? Why do I got to point that out? There's many other things that I could talk about. Stick to the topics than that. That's one of them. I could believe it. I could believe it. So let's but yeah, so cultivate the land, or y'all cultivated blue denim according to him, which that means you slaved over. You slaved for it. You were slaves,
No,
nigga.
no, you better really understand history, sir. And
You better really understand history. To say that means you know the real history of denim. So when you're and indigo, both of his things were wrong. Indigo came from Peru. We'll pull that up. Indigo came from Peru. Been here since, well, not just from Peru. It was found in Peru. It's been in the Americas for 6,000 years. They found it at some point in Peru, but don't whatever. But it's been here forever. That's just one of the places they point to. Denim came from France. So where does Negro slavery come into play, other than the fact that when they imported it here from France, they made you niggas wear it? In fact, he's making fun. It's like y'all still wearing your slave outfits. But it should be better to say it in a different way and say we've transmuted the negativity of what started as Negro cloth into dope ass jeans that everybody want to wear. That's how you do it. You say the Indians who created dye was already wearing blue pants. Some that may have been induced to become apprentices via law, baptismal, or orphans, being orphans, whatever, prisoners of war, or those who may have become prey to become slaves. Those people were forced to wear denim, and those people were so dope, did the thing so dope, made it to where it was so much of a trend that everybody in the world wants to wear denim. Niggas in Africa wearing denim, Europeans wearing denim, Asians wearing denim, everybody wearing denim, based upon the influence of us over here. I'd have fucked with that. I'd have fucked with that 100%. But tying it all to slavery and erasing the Indian ancestry and completely negating the history on both ends of both, now you just look stupid. Now you look like you got a goal. Now let me remove this. Let me get remove. Let's go back. Let's keep going on this.
in denim. Do you want me to show you that? It begins with blue. You want me to show you that? Okay, show me. So let me show you. Let me show you.
I hate it took me so long to find it because y'all know I'm so quick with it. But you know how it is. You wanna look. I've gotten used to being on live streams, but when you get on one that's like this, y'all know those who've been on it, even with 5 people and y'all arguing, you start getting nervous. Your heart start pumping and shit. Little sweat brow. Oh shit, man. Why is this happening to me? Just trying to say a couple words. Why is this happening? Nerves. Okay, it happens. All right, I ain't mad at myself for that. But let's keep going.
You ever heard of the Chippewa Indians? Okay. Well, I'm gonna show you a photograph.
I'm trying to like talk my way as I try to remember what is it.
Of Chippewas with blue. I'm gonna also show you now this right here. Whoops! Oh crap! Hold up! Hold up! Hold
I
up!
had it pretty quick.
Let me go back. Now
Appreciate
this
that.
right here, Chippewa Indians. Let me go right here. That's one of them. Let me go to the other one. That one they got on blue too. I just lost. Here we go. So we got Chippewa. I wanted to show you the actual where it says it as I get close. Chippewa Indians, right? This was done in the 1700s. You got a lot of people here wearing blue.
Yeah, right there, literally right there. Let's see if I can zoom in. As y'all can see, and I could just do it over here. Let me see if it'll find it that way. Damn it. Damn it. Now I gotta do what I had to do then. Well, I ain't mad because look, it still takes a moment even if I want to find it now. Indian paintings and sculptures. Yeah, here you go, right there. All right. All right. That's a pair of blue pants on a Chippewa Indian. Okay. Now, granted, it's not denim. I'm well aware now that a 100% cotton pants is not denim. And of course I know that because I don't wear much denim. I wear a lot of dress pants. I wear a lot of dress pants, and so my dress pants can be cotton, a lot of cotton and linen, cotton with polyester, whatever. So that lets you know, yeah, there's two different types. Yeah, denim is a thicker kind of blend that kind of you just diagonal, whatever, whatever. This is different. I'll concede to that, but you gotta at least concede to the fact that the process of dyeing pants with blue dye was going on well before anybody came over in this bitch. What the fuck you mean? Okay, throwing us in some cheaper denim cloth that y'all done came up with because y'all know denim ain't as clean like that as some nice dress cotton pants or linen. Shit's nice. Denim is cool. I fuck with some denim, but we was doing it. Okay, so let me keep going.
Even on her, she has on the blue. Now, where do you think she got the blue to dye that? Like the indigo. Of course. Of course. So why would we contribute that to slavery instead of contributing to the 6,000-year history that the Indians have had with it?
Easy question. As you can tell right now, so far, other than my somewhat heightened a little bit, yeah. Oh, he's sassy. He came in here stern and ready to argue with me. He was supposed to come in here and say, "How you doing, Tariq? Yeah, brother. Yeah, how you doing, brother? I'm here to talk to you. I don't want no animosity whatsoever, man. You know what I'm saying? I watch you all the time. Yeah, yeah. Big ups, big props. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to bother you for a second. I got a quick question. It's about this thing indigo. I mean, I ain't saying you're wrong. You know what I'm saying? I never say that to the master. Is I'm supposed to come in? Okay, no, let's keep going.
That's reclassifying.
That's reclassifying it.
What they were doing, they used the indigo on something called nigger cloth. That's what they called the fabric that they would give the enslaved. Okay, they called it Negro cloth. Right? Are we here? Are we there? You want to Google that?
He already seen I was googling that because I was like nigga claw. I had never heard it, so I said, "Let me go ahead and look."
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that. Negro cloth. Negro cloth. Okay. That was that coarse, rough cotton. So white tea folks renamed it Negro cloth later to make fun of it.
Now I didn't. And he said, "Right."
Right. Right.
Now I didn't know that I was right on that, but I felt that's what it was because, well, it was one of two things. Let me say this: it's either one or two things because it was imported, right? It was imported from France, and we know that now. Now, when I made the connection from it being imported from France, it could have been termed nigger cloth, Negro cloth, because the French over there, even around that time, were even from that time were Negroes. In fact, I showed the Book of Negroes, right? The Book of Negroes that you can get in the National Archives, right? And in 1789, 3,000 French Negroes, or British, French, whatever, Negroes from there, Moors, okay, from Europe, were sent back. Some sent to Nova Scotia, some sent back to Europe. Probably threw some indigenous folks up in there too. But either way, they were shipped out by 1789. That means that 3,000 people were here during Negro cloth times. Where it says that this says where it says just imported, right here, where it says where you go, right here. That's 1732. That means the Negroes that had not been sent out yet from where this Negro cloth came from were still here in America. So the Negro cloth could have either meant one of two things: the Negroes of Moors or France or Britain or whatever that was over here that possibly came with it and imported it, or it could have possibly meant that it came over as a regular cotton cloth, and when they started forcing so-called Negroes and Indians on certain plantations, not all of us, mostly just in South Carolina, North Carolina. I'm gonna blow the top on this whole thing, on this slavery shit on the timeline and the location, dwelling it down to really a minor, small area, smaller than what we remember or what we think, because most of it was going on in the 13 colonies up until 1803 Louisiana Purchase. Now that ain't really been. That's really just starting to be said a lot more recently, starting because everybody's been telling you 400 years. You were slave for 400 years. What about the 1803 Louisiana Purchase? My people was over there before 1803. I guess it's like 100 some years, but I mean, you trying to be too technical, okay? No, I'm trying to be correct because that means a big portion of the South, the West, the whole everybody on that side was not slaves until, if any of you all were, after 18. I really after the 1812, 1815 Creek War, the Creek War, Creek Indian War. That's when they really started expanding and pushing people. After that, Alabama becomes a state, 1820 first census, Louisiana becomes a state, blah, blah, blah. But you got to think though. Now that I've relegated you, let's do this. Now that I've relegated you to the 13 colonies with slavery up until 1803, now you got to think about something else we didn't think about that I thought about more recently. Let's go. Oh, 13 colonies map. So now we know slavery was just in the 13 colonies until at least 1805. Otherwise, people are trying to say the French had you and the Spanish had you. We'll have to get into that. But also, don't forget, the North supposedly didn't have slavery like that. That takes out even more of these states, right? You see how you got all these states? Well, the North takes out, and you know where most of the slave laws were written? Down there. Do you know what happened when I Googled church warden slaves? or not Googled it, but I looked in the newspapers for it. Did I take a screenshot of it? Don't tell me I didn't screenshot it. I think I didn't screenshot it. That's kind of whack. If I still got it open, that would be nice. I should still have it open because I'm going through the newspapers right now. See, sometimes it be doing this. That's what I was afraid of. See, I just kind of stuck on this page. I'm gonna try to click refresh. But what it does is like when I'm in my main page, I click on branch pages off of that. I branch pages off of that one so I don't lose my spot when I'm going down through newspapers searching. And then when you go and open up those pages and come back, all of a sudden, every time this mother, at least on this fucking Mac, this Apple shit, and it happened on my motherfucking Google Chrome too. So, but it would lose, it would do this every time and make you lose your spot, and damn near lose my whole. Okay, okay, I didn't lose it. It almost lost it. Okay, now look. So what I want you to see is this right here. When I Googled church wardens, just church warden, because now we know that that's very much tied to slaves. Not to say that that's the only way you're going to get slave. Now we can do another search for just slaves and run away and see what the numbers are on that. But when you Google that term, South Carolina has 3,001 papers about it. Pennsylvania, everybody else ain't got hardly nothing. But notice it's Pennsylvania, Virginia, Maryland. Pennsylvania, Virginia, Maryland. Not a lot in the North. Now we're talking about the church wardens who were really tasked over these slaves. They were some of the ones who were putting out the laws about the slaves before there was a Congress, before there was a government set up. We got the newspapers about that. And you only see it. So now you're starting to think, oh yeah, slavery was just only in the South, not in the North like that. Oh yeah, South Carolina, North Carolina was only the things in the South in the colonies that had slavery like that. Maybe Virginia, and maybe some Virginia too. Yeah, Virginia did too. They and actually we'll corroborate that. We'll corroborate that. Those should be the three top states that have the highest numbers of slaves. And I guarantee you on the census in 1790, that's what it's gonna be. Watch. Hadn't even thought about it to look at until now, but I guarantee you. 1790 slave population census, right? Maryland. Okay, I forgot about Maryland. Maryland had 103,000 so-called slaves. North Carolina had 100,000. South Carolina had 107,000. Virginia had 293,000. Everybody else had a trickle of them, and then they started losing them. Like New York uh, had 21,000, and then it starts to go down to nothing. New Jersey had 11,000. Then eventually, halfway, they started abolishing it. So your bulk of your so-called whoever was a so-called slave, but even though it doesn't show a lot of people up there, a lot of free people were in those states, like New York, 40,000 free niggas, 20,000 free New Jersey folks, 38,000 free Pennsylvanians, 61,000 free Marylanders. Okay, so your North was free to a degree, and maybe if not most, those slaves could be multiple things. They could be YT folks. You don't think so? We would look at Harrison's Law to show that. But I do want to get back to this so I don't get too far off in the weeds with the stuff. But that Negro cloth, as we get back into this, the Negro cloth that those Negroes they're talking about, they're either making fun of the niggas. They either brought the cloth over here originally as just a normal denim cloth without the word denim, started giving it to the slaves, was like, man, this shit kind of cheap. Let's throw it on these niggas. And then eventually started calling it nigger cloth, which is not a good story to revere. Not a good story to chime in and be like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Let me get one in and my one up. We did this in slavery. We okay. It came out of slavery. And even if, well, really, that's it. And if that's really it. Other than that, it would be named Negro cloth because niggas in Europe brought it over here and they called it Negro cloth. I don't know. One of the two, but neither one of them has anything to do with what he said. So let's keep going.
So we're gonna go with that story instead of the 6,000 year story. Okay, okay. So everything is invalidated. Okay, okay. Yeah, no, because
That's all he said. I said, so we're gonna go with that story instead of the 6,000 year story. Okay, so everything is invalidated because yes, I showed a 6,000 year history of indigo. You showed or said slave narratives was your source. So yeah, you're pretty much invalidated right now on the indigo topic. The denim topic, I had to go further to look.
really reclassifying us from having indigo and denim pre-slavery to just having it only post-slavery through your talking points. And talking points lead to erasure.
But I stayed on my shit. I said I ain't stumbling over words, I ain't whatever. I said you did this, you're taking it back, and you're basically erasing what we did, and talk with your talking points, and talking points lead to erasure. Like Fat Joe's talking points was trying to erase hip hop. I'm gonna keep throwing that in at your faces, FBA, because that's your most recent example of how hard. Do you remember how hard he went on live streams on Fat Joe? Forever. Every time Fat Joe said something, Tariq had 4 or 5 live streams to talk about it. Understandably so. He was like, "Oh yeah, I'm about to use this. I'm about to get a whole documentary and some money off these niggas. Oh yeah, let me battle Fat Joe for y'all. Somebody come up to him want to battle his information. What? What? You trying to invalidate me? Okay, let's keep going.
Talking points leads to erasure. The Indians didn't have blue jeans, sir. We were wearing blue jeans. What source, sir? What source is gonna tell you that the Indians?
He said the Indians didn't have blue jeans. We were wearing blue jeans. I asked him what source. I didn't say that we didn't, but of course, y'all know I still chalk up my wrongness to that, whatever. But okay.
Have denim and jeans and that fabric. Where did the fabric come from? The Negro cloth was dyed with indigo. Is that true or not true?
Like he's just talking slow because he don't know what else to say. Uh, it was dyed with indigo, right? Nigga, we established that long when I first got on this bitch. Are we literally going back to square one of the conversation? Did you not keep up with anything else? Okay, let's keep going.
See .gov sources for that. I don't see any. The only source I don't see any .org other than the Journal of East Early Southern Decorative Arts. Cash crop in South Carolina. Of course.
I said I don't see any .gov sources for it or whatever. He says it was a major cash crop in South Carolina. That's still not proving it. I said, of course it was a major cash crop. It's been in the Americas for 6,000 years. I ain't got to touch the mic, but it's like always some extra when you do it. This it's been here for 6,000 years. Why the hell wouldn't it be a major crop, nigga? Are you slow? Yeah, yeah. They were still growing in here. It was majorly growing. The African they help it though, because the African DNA came from the Abobibonos, and then shut up, nigga.
Because we've been growing indigo for 6,000 years in the Americas, sir. Oh yes, by the time they got here and seen melanated Indians. Slow down. Slow down.
He muted me.
One doesn't negate the other, sir. Didn't say it wasn't. It does negate it. No, it doesn't.
How does one not negate the other? You said indigo happened in slavery. I said it happened. It's been going on since you said it came out of slavery. I said it's been going on for 6,000 years in the Americas. You said one doesn't negate the other. How does it not? They're two directly different talking points and arguments and cultures and people. Who you talking about? Who created this thing? Are you slow? You got to be slow. Or I caught your ass off guard because nobody ever really comes up with real information on your plan. No, not nobody. Some people came up with some stuff. I don't want to discount because some of my folks done been up there. Some of the Indians done been up there. But shit, Usually ain't nobody coming up there with an iPad ready to show sources that you ain't never really had to be like, oh, let me question somebody questioning me on the spot. King Flex. He calls himself King Flex. King, you plebiscite babblers, you common folk babblers. The King Flex is talking to you common folks who are babbling. Plebiscites. Hmm. Let's keep going.
You've taken the timeline from 6,000 years ago to slavery, 19.
You're plebiscite babbling, and he muted me. He said, "You're making up an argument that's not being made." It's a real argument. You said it started in slavery. I said it started. That's not an argument. That's who's arguing. Neither one negates the other. What do you mean? I ain't. What? Okay. What up, shot?
Just because something was a cash crop, that doesn't negate the fact that it was here for a long time. Tobacco was a cash crop.
It negates the fact that it wasn't invented somewhere, invented by the time it was. I'm sorry, by the time it was a so-called cash crop by slaves. You're kind of talking around right now. See, I can't break it down like this because you'll mute me every single time, right? Because that's going to be what I was going to tell you, right? Just because it's a major cash crop, okay, let's keep going.
It was here for thousands of years. Two things can be true, sir.
Two things cannot be true. Well, they can be based upon how you word them. If you word it and say American Indians created Negro cloth, and during slavery, that same crop was still utilized to dye denim that was imported, and they forced them to wear that as it was some of the most inexpensive materials. Now you're talking about the correct history. After I've done research, I can actually say it now. Say it the right way. I ain't do tons of research, but I wasn't the one putting this talking point out there. I was really just the one kind of debunking it for a moment. It didn't take me that long to debunk it. I probably did like an hour worth of research or less, 30 minutes maybe. You know what I'm saying? And found the sources and everything. Let's keep going.
We have a history of contributing all of our food to slavery times as if we didn't have.
I said you have a history of contributing all of our food to slavery times. I hate that I started off with corn. I was trying to think of soul foods. And I was like corn, neck bones, turkey. Kind of got me on that one. Okay. Not that that's not nigga foods, but soul food is usually greens, ham hocks, you got them chitlins, you got them other stuff, other different things, right? But I was still right because he does that all the time.
Before slavery, like Indians, as if we didn't have turkey, as if we didn't have neck bones, as if we didn't have all these things before slavery. I can show you these things in books.
I obviously can't show neck bones in books, so I kind of messed up right there. I can show you the other things. I can't show you neck bones. Okay.
Doing talking points. I just said earlier that was when they talk about Native Americans creating barbecue. I said I think they're talking about the Black Indigenous because we're the only ones who barbecue. I've never seen red.
Hold on.
Tobacco was a cash crop.
Let's listen to that again.
It was here for thousands of years. Two things can be true, sir. You have a history of contributing all of our food to slavery times as if we didn't have corn before slavery, like Indians, as if we didn't have turkey, as if we didn't have neck bones, as if we didn't have all these things before slavery. I can show you these things in books. I just said earlier.
I can show you a lot of our other foods in books, just not the neck bones. It's not the neck bones.
I think it was
but I'm sure we had neck bones. Right? Of course, I'm sure we had neck bones.
Talk about Native Americans creating barbecue. I said I think they're talking about the Black Indigenous because we're the only ones who barbecue. I've never seen red natives barbecue. I don't disagree with you, sir. We're not in disagreement. cut the goddamn talking points out and let's get to the real goddamn nitty. The real nitty-gritty is you continuously hold on, stop. We'll go with the music. Go ahead.
And you see, he's muting me. This is like the fourth or fifth mute we're on. Have I crashed out? Have I denigrated him yet? Have I yelled? Everybody keeps saying, "Man, you were hostile. You came in there hot. Y'all crazy. We almost toward the end of before he dropped me, and I ain't done nothing yet. All right.
Let's stop this bad faith argument shit. What's your real issue?
Are you saying all that, FBA, that we as Indians created that? Or do you think Indians wasn't frying fish and hush puppies and making coleslaw and potato salad until slavery? Are you that fucking dumb? Or do you need a fucking wake up call? Did you say cornbread? Let's just do cornbread. Shouldn't have said that one. Cornbread? You don't think Indians had cornbread? Are you that fucking dumb? You can't be that fucking dumb. Sir, you see that corn cakes? It is a sweet and rich as fresh, creamy, and is an ingredient in most of their cookery, especially hominy-like grits and corn cakes. Grits and corn cakes? The creeks? Ain't no fucking ethnogenesis in no creeks. Well, no. I'd say to a degree because there ain't no real creek. A real creek is a Shawnee, Yuchi, and a Umasi and other things, but you wouldn't know that. I ain't even gonna go that far with you. You don't even know about corn. The nigga said cornbread. Nigga, are you that fucking moronic? Oh, my bad. I see you. Okay. You threw the come on, FBA wake up call. You can't be doing that. You got FBA in all caps saying wake up call. I see the damn feathers now. And you just start typing in foods. I'm like, hold on, nigga, what? My bad, FBA wake up call. My bad. You trying to wake them niggas up. I get it. They wake up call. I get it. What up, Regal? If I had said it already. What up, Black Receipt? I think it's two interpretation. Y'all saying the same, contributing it. Now we already listened to his wording. We'll listen to it again real quick. I'll throw it up there. Actually, it's still up. He says it came out of. Actually, that's not it. Hold on. We just heard it. What's his word? Now he's trying to play. Tariq is king of the double speak, and I didn't say this, and blah blah blah. Here it is. No, this one right here.
Let me build on that. Hold on. Let me build on that. Even blue jeans, sir. That
now when he said let me build on that, Black Receipt, Daniel or David or whatever his name is was just coming off of telling old boy this African the great inventions that Black Americans were doing. So following up with a let me build on that, I'm assuming he's talking about building on the creations and inventions. But let's listen.
That came out of foundational Black Americans in slavery. The denim. Let me build on that. Even blue jeans, sir. That came out of foundational Black Americans in slavery.
It came out of Black Americans in slavery. It did not, but what does came out of mean? Well, you can interpret that the way you want to feel like you interpret it, but we're going to let him keep going with it and see further what his words are. But came out of following somebody who just denoted creations in the minds of most of his followers is we created it in slavery times, along with denim. We now know neither one was created during that time, and it was a cloth brought over from France, and the indigo was already here. It still wasn't combined here until later because they imported both white and blue Negro cloth, as we've seen on the import document that I have shown as here, importing blue Negro cloth as well as white and blue Negro cloth. If it's imported, it was that way before it got there. And in fact, if it was imported and called Negro cloth by 1732, tells me that it probably came from the Negroes over there in Europe. Or white folks made fun of them, giving them the cheaper models of clothing and calling it Negro cloth. Either way, it's nothing to champion. Neither one's good to champion during this time right here where he's saying, let me build on this. They used to give us cloth and they made fun of us and called it nigger cloth because it was cheap. And we turned it. Now, if you sit there and say we turned it into something amazing that all the world today wants to wear and now it's a fashion statement, that's different. Follow it up a little bit something with that. But even then, you still put the creation of it at slavery time. Because why did I decide to go this time at him? Because he contributes. That's what we're going into now. He contributes everything we had as slavery: the food, the music genres that came out of black foundational black American history in slavery. The hardships, the pain that can only be sown and growth and birth out of the pain of your ancestors being raped over and over again. Horrible. To say the only way you can even create something is if a nigga got his foot in your fucking neck. I ain't no bitch made nigga. Ain't nobody had their foot on. Well, a couple people had their foot on a couple of my family's necks, but they were minors. Likely kidnapped kids from their parents. It's really more sinister than you think. Slavery, it is, or apprenticeships. Slavery, that was really more of a criminal thing, which it is today. Okay. So yeah, he said came out of slavery. Let the words finish playing.
The denim, they called it Negro. Yeah, the blue jeans. You got blue jeans. Yeah, because we knew how to work the indigo and we knew how to dye and make.
Because we knew how to work the indigo and we knew how to dye. Who, the slaves or the Indians? Because we got to make a distinction because at some point there was Negroes and Indian slaves here. But Tariq wants you to think that when you see this, that you will think red and black natives. But that's not what this is. The Indians are us. The Negroes are the others. Europeans, in most cases. The Yamasis, I got stories of the Yamasis going back and forth, either enslaving, helping to enslave or capture either British folks, Spaniards. Sometimes they get into it with the Spaniards. Sometimes they get into it with the British. Sometimes they get into it with the French. Do y'all not know how many different factions were here and they didn't like each other? Sometimes the Dutch. Do y'all not think that the English was enslaving the French or the British or the Spaniards? I mean, and that they sometimes use Indians to get those folks. That's erasure again on his behalf. Yeah, they had Negroes and Indian slaves together on the plantations. How could we not mix together? And you think this is what he taught? You think this means the red native thing right here? That's the Negro and Indian slaves you think is some red people being mixed into your ethnogenesis. And in fact, those are the Europeans that some of us might have one or two or few in our line who are melanated. Why would they put them together? Why do they talk about purchasing some country-born young Negro instead of young Negro Indians, and then talk about later on putting them together with the Negroes and Indians in schools? in schools with schoolmasters who are trained without going all the way into it. Why would they be doing that if they wasn't trying to erase? And then now you can see when they got together and start saying that they could start calling y'all all Negro at some point. Well, we've had them in schools for 2 to 3 to 4 generations together, kind of got them confused, kind of got rid of some parents. Some are still here, especially some in the North, some in the South too. But kind of got rid of some parents. We could play some of these games. We could probably erase most of this. There's some people that'll remember, but if we put out some harsh laws, we could probably make this happen. Let's keep going before I lose my train of thought. But let me let this finish.
Up the dye, the blue dye with the indigo and the genes. So we were cultivating blue genes as we know it, sir.
We were cultivating blue jeans. When we looked up cultivating, the word means, if I still got it pulled up, you would think cultivating means like we were really out there, preparing it. No, no. On the land, you till and prepare the crops. We were picking the cotton, is what he's basically telling you. To cultivate is to prepare the crops, to raise or produce or tillage. That's not how you sow denim. You don't cultivate denim, you cultivate cotton. You sow cotton to make denim. But I guess y'all can't stick to definitions. Not y'all, not you specifically, Black Receipt, even if you're still in here. But Tariq and certain FBAs, y'all hate to dig into real information. We're too nerdy for y'all. We trying to clown and talk reparations and feel good about advocacy. We ain't got time for all these newspapers you're reading from 1700. You got to go back that far. We just go back to 1870, Playboy. Ain't no need in digging any further. Like where you would dig and find this 1794 document and all these documents, or 1730 something documents talk about church wardens and kids being and all the being trained. Well, kind of all kind of stuff, y'all. Indentured servitude documents. So many things, dude. Like this indentured servitude document of some of our folks at the age of 13 being forced into some of these things unbeknownst to them, or being orphaned based upon being prisoners of war. It's different. It's different. It hits differently. We're gonna get back to this, but it hits differently when you know that you were an Indian American prisoner of war, than if you think you're an African slave prisoner of war. It hits way differently. Hits way differently to your soul. Let's keep going, man. Get him off of here.
Real issue is like I told you. You take our talking points. Let's talk about the Alabama talking points.
I've been muted like 6 or 7, 8 times at this point. I'm still not loud. I haven't gotten. I was like, let's talk about the Alabama talking point. And he was like, no, 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 no. Okay.
Let's get to the real.
Let's talk about the Alabama talking point, because I came up with this, sir. The Alabama.
Now I'm being a little cocky. I don't know if 100%. I know I was the first one that started really that I've seen going around with this document talking about the Alabama reclassification during that time. But I hate to say it and not know that maybe somebody who's a big in the community, or even if they're not big and they put it out there, I always want to give credit where credit is due, basically. And maybe I didn't come up. I believe I did. I ain't never seen nobody prior to this talking point. But the reason why I'm saying it like that is I want to say, like, I want him to recognize that this ain't a big talking point. And for you to be saying it, you had to have gotten it from us. There's no other way. No other way. Nobody was pulling up this slave population census document like this. Nobody was looking at the fact that nobody was being I'll show y'all. Nobody was looking at the fact that nobody was being counted in Alabama up until 1820 like that. He was like, well, he was on a live stream talking about some, well, people just pop up in Alabama out of nowhere in 1820. Sir, that was reclassification. What do you think? They just popped up out of nowhere? I said, ain't that a bitch? Where did you learn that? And how are you trying to twist that talking point? It's another reason why I came up because I also have heard from our amazing Indian community, people that have told me many times that this nigga used to steal talking points before I came over. They was like, yeah, a lot of the stuff that you probably heard him say about Indians and stuff, he got a lot of that stuff from like maybe Top Cats or whoever, certain names they was throwing out at the time, Copper, Cutie, and all that stuff. So I was like, oh, really? I didn't know that. But I threw that on the back burner in my head. I was like, well, whatever. But then now here I am, a year and a half almost or so into my own research, going hard about this. And here I hear talking points that I never heard until I knew I was going hard on. I used to go hard on all kind of platforms. I went so hard on this damn document that Pan Africans used to use this document. '05 and them bitch ass niggas used to use this document just because they got it from, they saw me using it. Obviously, nigga tried to point out some stupid other shit. Says right here, African, unmixed African or black. And then I showed them further down where it talks about people coming in from the West Indies, as well as there only being very few Africans here. And they talk about native born blacks. You don't want to read that part. But okay. But my main thing is these talking points is what I'm talking about. Why are you taking I basically had two content points of contention with them. One, you just recently took our talking point. You believe I'll grab what I can from different people and apply it to our own history. Y'all hit. Sir, this is from the fucking census records. .gov. How the fuck am, if I'm grabbing something from anywhere, it's from the fucking government. If I'm grabbing documents that prove us from the government, are you a fucking moron? That's about as official as you can fucking get. Black Receipt, I don't know who the fuck you are, but you need to get the fuck off my shit from here on out. You have been following me. I don't give a fuck. If you can't follow your ass on somewhere the fuck else. Nobody picking and choosing a goddamn thing. You think I sat around and took forever to find a fucking book to find something about corn cakes from 1796? A 400-page book, nigga? You ain't read a goddamn thing. You know how many letters I've been through in the motherfucking archives just to find so many letters, especially for the sweet, sweet, savory debunking of niggas. Like this Levi Cobra letter. Do you know how many letters I had to fucking read through, bitch, nigga? Before I found the letters that I could use towards my agenda? The ones that are corrupt, talking about the corrupt Levi Colbert and his descendant who's today an agent in our motherfucking spaces. The nigga who sold off the land to the Chickasaw Indians through the treaty, him and the rest of the Colberts. Get your bitch ass out my shit. Discount a niggas research again if you want to. Y'all ain't got shit going on. Go call some niggas bussy. That's what y'all like to do. Over here we learn. And it's official sources. Dumbass niggas. Do you know how many of these letters I had? Do y'all know how many letters? Do y'all even know what these letters are? Who knows? Do you even know what a Chickasaw agency is? Do you even know what an Indian agent is? Do you know what the War Department is? Do you know what the Indian Bureau of Affairs that becomes the War Department is? Do you know that Indian agents were corporals, generals of the army, appointed as agents, as go-betweens? But those same Indian agent generals are the same ones who usurped the tribes and faked like they was Indians and took away the land. And their descendants today are on our panel, going hard every day. Give me 5. He may be in here right now. Give me 5 minutes. Well, if he's in here, I'm a Marshall Tubby. I'm a Levi Cobra descendant. I'm a Florida descendant. All of them niggas was bitch ass agents. You don't know what an agent is? In fact, do you know, like I just said, do you know how many letters is in the goddamn, where we at? Trigger, where my agency letters at? Got so many goddamn links right here. You don't know what the letters received. Have you read letters received from 1824 to 1881 from the National Archives records? This nigga said I'm picking and choosing. And then how many agencies there are? How many agencies? And then on top of that, how many links to each agency of letters, and how each of these links have 800 to 900 transcriptions in them bitches. Or I don't know why they say transcriptions. They would be really manuscripts. They're not transcribed. How many letters are in each one of these? Y'all don't want to fuck with real researchers. Y'all like to play games like little hoes. Like little hoes. Y'all ain't ready for no real research. You think Tariq gonna go through these letters and tell you what the fuck is in here without being paid? I don't get a goddamn dime for this. Not that I need it. Your boy got a couple Benzes. I'm a single man with a couple different Benzes. I say that because when you got 2 key fobs, people want to be like, it's probably your girl's car. There you go, he's stealing. And when you got 1 key fob, what's the thing they say? You ain't doing nothing but renting it. But who would rent 2 Benzes? That would be dumb. And look at all these letters. When you talk about official, y'all, these are handwritten letters preserved for over 100 some odd years. Tariq can never be on this level. To catch up, he'd have to read 50,000 news, 50,000 somethings. Better say letters. I ain't read 50,000 letters. I read thousands of letters. I've also read hundreds, if not that, hundreds of Freedman applications. Just random. I used to wake up in the morning, toke up. Let's see. Let me go through about 10 to 15 Freedman applications and see what I can find. See what niggas was saying back then. Going through books. Y'all know how many books I've been through from 1500, 1600, 1700s. Y'all know how many books I've translated from English? I mean, from Latin, Spanish, French, Portuguese. I think one maybe a Portuguese. Y'all know what I mean. Ask Tariq what was the oldest book he read? It's probably something Pan-African from the mid 1900s. Trying to talk about the past. Only people he ever talks about: San Miguel del Guadalupe, Samuel L. Raffinesque. What's that white dude down there? What you call it? With the Omegs. Whatever the skinny white dude name with the Omegs. Those are his 3 go-tos for the black aboriginals. Let's go, man. Let's keep going, man. This nigga ain't shit. He's a Claude. His teacher is Claude Anderson, who haven't read these books. Yeah, and Claude Anderson, Claude Anderson, I ain't got no problems with him. He actually was a good fighter for a while, advocate. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as language goes, he did say Native Black American, Native Americans, native through the word native on us. But other than that, like, I ain't got no qualms with him. I would call him just an older guy. When it comes to our elders, I give them grace because they didn't have the internet. They didn't have access to hardly any of the things we have access to. Digitization was not what it is today. Even when if the internet did kind of slightly come out, first the internet has to come out, then everybody has to digitize a lot of shit before Samuel Hali Kahio can become who I am today. I wouldn't be able to if I couldn't dig through these documents from the comfort of my home, sitting there puffing. Okay, I wouldn't be. I would have a very limited amount of information, and so you got to get that grace to the older folks. So I ain't finna trip about you like your Francis Cress Wilson or your whatever, but he ain't coming out under them. He might be using them as talking points all the time, and he did some good things for Francis Cress Wilson. I put her through. I helped pay for her funeral. All that. That's all good and noble. I gave him time to do something, but ain't nothing come from that. You talking about a nigga? I was in that FBA Expo as a vendor in Dallas. I was in some of these things. I had paid for so much stuff for FBA trying to support that shit ass cause that ain't. I don't want to say that it ain't doing nothing, but it ain't doing nothing. But a lot of talk. The talk does work though. Talk works. I don't want to discount talk. But American Indians have a real game plan. Y'all may not know because y'all want to discount it every time we talk about it. Land, pass. Y'all niggas crazy. Who want a little piece of land somewhere? Well, my land patent was in Arkansas, Little Rock. I wonder who's sitting on a Little Rock, Arkansas piece of land that might be somewhere in the city. Wonder who's sitting on that, or how many things are sitting on that I could draw money from. Land being the landlord. When it comes down to it, we need to go after reparations. Y'all can do that too. That's fine. But I'm not going to accept it over anything else that I'm supposed to be getting. It better not be no fine print language. It better be like, here's the money. But that's what they be saying. If we give y'all this, are y'all going to ask for anything else? Tariq's pretty much like, nah, man, y'all give us 300K, we good. Yeah. And I've heard him say that directly. Yeah. I mean, that'll change all our lives. 300K. And at the time, don't get me wrong, I was mulling it over in my head. Yeah, shit. I'll come up on 300. But there's some states where you can buy a house for $300. So anyway, you think, or 150, 200. So if you think about it, if you're really trying to take that money and set yourself up and get yourself out of debt slavery completely, and you want to buy your house and buy your car or whatever, you gotta have to buy the house, buy the land, buy the car. Well, you spent all your reparations, you irresponsible nigga. Did you have to have a house right now? Well, that was your call. Oh, that land patent that you could have drawn money and generational wealth on for your heirs forever. That's listed on the patent that says forever to be yours forever, generationally, heirs. Cause y'all dumb enough to think, oh, they just gonna give me a little patch of land out somewhere. What am I gonna do with that? What am I gonna do with that? Just grow some tomatoes on it or something? No, you simple nigga. We own this country. We own the major cities in most cases. A lot of those centers, I can pull it up. This one white dude tell you, a lot of these areas were big mound centers. A lot of these cities were big mound centers. He's like, Cincinnati doesn't have a big mound center anymore, and Ohio doesn't have a big mound center anymore, and whatever. But there was one there. I wonder where they went. And I wonder who owned that land prior to y'all building all this stuff right here. And I wonder who might have a patent on said land where said mound used to be. What if it's downtown land? and somebody has a skyscraper on your land. Well, sorry, nigga, your reparation said I can keep my land here. That whole air shit and shit, we don't know what to do for you. Reparations for slavery, even though we wasn't all enslaved. Even though slavery was very to a degree minuscule. To a degree minuscule. Most of it was paper slavery. And the ones that were enslaved, the most harshest, were South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia. Not mostly up north, and not mostly in the South. West of those places like Florida, Louisiana, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, Oklahoma, Texas, Illinois, whatever, all of those, everything west, before westward expansion. That you never heard Tariq talks about this stuff, right? We were slaves for 400 years, y'all. They owe us some money. 15 something when Juan Ponce de Leon got here. Do you even know the story of Juan Ponce de Leon like that for real? And San Miguel de Guadalupe and the Wale Indians that was there? It was called Guadalupe because they couldn't pronounce Wale. Let me show that. I remember when I first started my studies, boy, and I found that. And I was like, are you serious? This is what Tariq talks about all the time. Instead of Wale, they said Waldape. Instead of Chicora, as the other town, they called it Oritza. And as for Wale, they called it Waldape. When I first saved this long ago, because the ancestors are on my side, not y'all's, I had no idea what Wale was or what Shakur was. I knew what Waldape was. I heard Tariq talk about it. That's why I saved it. I said Waldape, Wale. So they only named it Wale because Waldape because the Indians called it Wale. And that's when a friend of mine at the time, Flawless, what was her name? Something. I can't remember. She used to have on a purple outfit. She's changed the name here recently. I think it's like, oh yeah, I don't want to give away her whatever, because she changed her her username and shit, and she be in here rogue. You feel me? She's like, I don't want the negativity no more, and I can understand that. But she was like, you need to look into these Wale Indians. When I started, I think I found something about the Geechee or something, and she was like, you got to look into these Wale Indians. And I was like, Wale? I've seen that. That's Waldape. Took me down a whole talking path. Now, I mean, a whole rabbit hole, discovering lots of Indians and Juan Ponce de Leon. As you can, I think this should be here. I think this is Juan Ponce's whatever. But no, this is the auditor Lucas Vasquez. No, yeah. It wasn't Lucas Vasquez de Alion. This is in the history of Hernando de Soto book. Lucas Vasquez de Alion. That's who he says on his website. Now, on his website, he should post the book in the source so you can go read it for yourself and determine what happened. What Indian tribes are they talking about? But you're not going to do that. You'll just believe his story. Lucas Vasquez de Alion one day showed up with some Negroes from Africa, and that began our ethnogenesis. I don't even think that there was any Negroes, if I can remember, on I take that back. No Negroes likely recorded that I seen on Lucas Vasquez de Alion, but there could have been. But either way, I do believe, of course, there would have been some. Right? I do know for sure on the Archie Nega expedition, which I can show that. Augustine. I think I got a map of St. Augustine showing the Black Town. Possibly, or I might have to go to the video if I don't have it. I didn't. I was about to say I didn't know I had so many Augustine receipts, but I know I do. I would have to go to the to the. I'd have to send it though, yeah, because it's a video, and I'd have to send the video over there. I was looking for the screenshot. Let me just do it. I want to show y'all. I do want to show you. And these people were listed as free Negroes when they came over on this expedition. So then you got to ask the question: free Negroes are not slave Negroes, and we're talking about Lucas Vasquez de Ali on so-called Negro slaves coming over here, but you got free slaves already. That's funny. Are they already free? Right here. Is it this one right here? Confirmed black property owners of 1764 from a Library of Congress historian. You see the library, the symbol down there at the bottom? Official. Oh, the fuck official. So he'll tell you that there were some slaves coming over here, but these were confirmed black property owners in 1764 in St. Augustine, Florida. Who tells you these things? Who are these black folk? Remember, they called it Negro cloth. It was imported from Europe. These people, there's some black people coming from Europe who are landowners in 1764. Before the age 1783 Book of Negroes kicks a lot of them out. But y'all niggas ain't ready for this info. But he wants you to believe in an ethnogenesis. Let's go back to his thing. This thing. I ain't even okay. Hold on. Yeah.
Classification talking point, and you don't even know what that means. You don't even know where to find the information or how it happened.
I don't even know what you're talking
Because I seen about 2 weeks ago, you started mentioning that Alabamians were reclassified due to the 1820 census, but I don't even think you know the details of that.
Yeah. So what you? Yeah.
Because that's a talking point I came up with.
He's just he don't know what is it. Yeah. But what are you saying? So now I'm like, that's the talking point I came up with. Again, talking points lead to erasure. You're taking our talking points. I'm sticking to my purpose for being on this panel. You're taking talking points, contributing them to slavery, which further instills erasure of our people, who are the real Indians, the American Indians, the bulk of the people who are here. When they do their genealogy, they'll find that.
It started getting moved around. Now you're talking about it, but now you're contributing it.
Well, are you trying to say I got it from you?
Well, no, you didn't get it directly from me. No, it goes around before you get it. You know?
See, I'm not that cocky. I'm not trying to say you was watching my videos and learning from a nigga. That's not what I said. But I said I came up with the talking point.
But I'm just saying, you didn't do the information to know where it happened.
You didn't do the information to know where it happened. You didn't. When you said it on the talking panel, you didn't show something to say where it happened. You just said, hey, this happened and this happened. So what was that? That was reclassified. Where'd you get that? Okay.
How about I lived in Alabama as a child?
How about that doesn't tell me that you've read the census document, sir?
See how quick I am with my retorts and they make you sound stupid? How about he tried to make it sound like make it sound like I'm stupid. You mean I don't know about reclassification, sir? How about I lived there as a child? I didn't know children learned about reclassification and read census documents from 1790 to 1850 and looked at the number of slaves between 1720 to 1850 and then looked at the number of counties on the census between those and figured out in 1820 7 to 8 counties were counted, and in 1830 about 20 or 14 to 15 counties were counted. 1840 they counted like 30, 20 some more. And then in 1850, they started counting the rest. That's why you have the numbers jump. But when you also want to explain the numbers jump, you have to know what happened in 1830 in that location, which that location you would have to know from an Indian land territory map that it was Choctaw land before it was called a fucking Alabama. And in Choctaw land, what had happened before it became the Alabama was the 1830 Dancing Rabbit Treaty, which in Article 14 has a clause allowing some Indians who were head of household, which would put them as landowners, who desirous to remain in the same state and land that they were on, they could do so by giving their information to the before the ratification of the treaty, blah blah blah, on Article 14. So that means, sir, in 1830, you had a lot of people who decided to stay in Alabama as a citizen instead of going to Oklahoma to be counted on the Dawes rolls later on as a real Indian, supposed real Indian or paper Indian, you should say. So those people sat there in Alabama and ended up becoming a citizen, which means they can now be counted on the census, which makes the reason for the census jump, which explains reclassification. And I can show all of that via sources. But see, y'all are cool with just a quick overview talking point. And this nigga's guide, an educational guide to some of y'all. Ridiculous.
Adult, sir. As a child living in Alabama, doesn't tell me that you've read this document, sir. Don't play. Doesn't tell me that you've read this document. Do you know why it jumps from 42 to 117 to 250?
I'm common folk babbling.
These numbers jump in Alabama. Do you know why these numbers jump in Alabama?
You just jumping all over the place saying.
Do you know why these numbers jump?
Don't care. You just saying.
Don't care why these.
You just jumping around saying shit, man. All this shit you're saying. Damn. You ain't even sticking to any points. My point is, you take all of our talking points, and I was giving you another example of a talking point that came directly from me in a sense, but it kind of got around, and I don't know how it got to you, but now you're using it. And I was taking that as an example, a second example of how you take talking points, because the original thing was you take talking points like Indigo, the American Indian talking points on Indigo, and how talking points lead to erasure. I haven't lost my train of thought on this argument whatsoever. I haven't lost my cool. I haven't done none of that. If anything, my voice has cracked. My voice typically always cracks. I have a hella dynamic voice. It does this thing all the time. I got to deal with it. Okay. I tell people it's usually because I have a lot of high highs. My voice is kind of nasally, but I can sing falsetto, soprano, all that shit. I don't do it. I don't really like to sing like that. But I just sing falsetto, soprano, all that shit. Like when I was in the choir at church, bullshit ass church choir. I used to wanted to, but I wanted to be. That was when I was younger. But then at some point, I wanted to. When I got a little bit older, I wanted to sit with the guys. You know what I'm saying? My homeboys was tenors. So I was like, I started acting like I could just only sing tenor. But when I got older, I still didn't sing to like be singing for people. But I used to make beats and stuff like that back in the day. And so if I had like a singer over or whatever, or I got songs that I would try to make for folks, for singers. I never did anything major, but I would, do my little singing here and there, whatever. But anyways, long story short, voice is a little dynamic and nasally. It will happen. I'm not ashamed of it, but I'm saying all that to say they're gonna try to say later on, was he crying? Was he? I think he was trying to shed a tear. Okay, whatever. Let's keep going.
You're just saying shit out of emotion. You're being emotional. Stop.
All you can do is mute, huh?
He said, you're being emotional. Stop it. I said, all you do is mute, huh? Does that sound emotional? All you can do is mute, huh? You're emotional. You're muting me, huh? Many times, huh? Quit being emotional, Samuel. I'm muting you because you're emotional. Stop it. I don't know why you muting. I'm just trying to say some talk, but stop. Quit, man. Why you coming so hostile?
Because I'm not gonna let no emotional.
I'm the most logical.
I'm not gonna let no emotional nigga trauma dump on me. You trying to find somebody to trauma dump on. Calm down.
Now he's muting me back and forth because at this point I've been muted probably 8-9 times up to this point. So now I'm playing game. Now I'm like, oh yeah, Now you believe. Oh yeah. Now you got. Because if you're not listening to me, bitch, nigga, I'm not listening to you. I stayed on my points. You can't follow, and you're not prepared. Understandably so, you weren't prepared for a real nigga to come up with some sources and to have to explain yourself. But if you're already ready and stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready. Cause me, if I didn't have my iPad in front of me, you best believe if I'm in a debate, I can Google something fast in a bitch. I don't need that. I just need this phone. Show you some sources. I'll be like, oh, bitch, really? Let me Google. Dude, real document, not the AI overview from a government source. Don't bullshit me, right? That's how I do. I don't just Google and show you another AI bullshit or tell you a little overview. Okay, let's keep going.
Yeah, you just saying shit. No, you just saying, oh, you're not going to talk over me. You're not going to talk over me. Just random shit. That mean nothing. You just saying random shit. Do it out of emotion. You're just saying random stuff that we don't care about.
You're just saying random stuff that we don't care about. Yeah, I know you don't care about taking all talking points from the Indian community and contributed to slavery. I know you don't care about taking talking points like Alabama reclassification. Yeah, you don't care. Thanks. When you slow it down, you know. But yeah, of course you don't care. Nigga, that's your live. Why am I in your live? You go live every day. And that's the funny thing. These people create these live streams for debate every day. And then when somebody gets up there that's really debating them, they be mad. I can't understand why these niggas go looking around for me and shit. I know I'm on here every day asking for people to come up and shit and putting props up and shit, but goddamn, why y'all looking for me? You must have been looking for me every day that I get online every day at 2:00 around the same time or whatever time I get on. I don't know, whatever time it is. I don't get on. I barely, literally, I be waking up. I literally had to wake up. Like, I literally just woke up. Like, if I catch that nigga, it's because I either fell asleep early the night before and I done woke up at like 1 or 2:00 in the morning, mad in a bitch. Because typically I go to sleep around like 10-ish, 10, 11-ish. And I wake up at like 3, 4 in the morning, super cheap on my research. But every once in a blue moon, I'll wake up at like 1 or 2. You know, people wake up in the middle of the night sometimes. But so every once in a while, I'll wake up like that. And that's when I will catch it. And literally, it's like the ancestors just been making me wake up when this nigga saying stupid shit. Because I also don't listen to this nigga long. Who can listen to this nigga that long? Dumb niggas. But who can listen to this nigga long forever? Don't get me wrong. I used to. Don't get me wrong. I was one of them dumb niggas. Okay. I was literally listening to him in my ear every day. But I did have him in a certain category. He was never somebody I fully just was like, okay, he's the know all. I knew Tariq's limit had a limited threshold on where his knowledge was, and I was cool with it. I was like, he's just a Pan-African somewhat nigga that done went to a pro-black stance here in America, non-immigrant pro-black stance, and he does documentaries and he goes on live every day talking about hot topics to get his followers up. I ain't mad at that until it becomes erasure, until I figure out, oh, wait a minute, this is a little bit more sinister. Wait a minute, foundational doesn't mean what you think it means. Foundational means founded, like you founded something new, not the found. And when you found something, that doesn't mean it wasn't there before. People who founded something that was there. When you create something, you don't found it, you create it. And he'll play on the words. Yeah, we was here from the foundation of the Oakland of America. Oh, when the white folks came and found American Indians already living here in cities, in high rises, in ancient Capitol buildings with Roman structures that y'all think that these niggas built in a year or two, and they put a little Mason symbol on that bitch. We did it. We found it, and that's exactly what they'll say. That's exactly what the stone says. Founded the state capitol in 1901. Playing games.
No, you're not going to talk over me. You're not going to talk over me like an emotional queen. Calm down. Yeah, that's what you're not going to do. I don't talk to emotional. You're crashing out, sir, and I'm not going to let you. We're having an intervention. Calm down. Stop being a woman. You're not going to crash.
As you tell, he just muted me. He keeps saying, "You're crashing out. You're being a woman. Why are you doing this?" As I hold this mute button down as many times as I possibly can, Y'all know what I don't do on my page? Mute people. Give me five done been up here. OHF done been up here. Black First. Nah, Black First hasn't. Teaching. All you little Pan African crusades, right? The little the research rebels. I can't, when I saw that, I said, nah, you corny niggas didn't call yourself research rebels. We're researching rebelliously. All right. All right, teaching. The Research Crusaders. Yeah, them bitch ass niggas, and many of these natives and other stuff done been on my panel. I ain't had to click the mute button, but maybe one time. I think maybe one time I clicked the mute. The nigga was just super crashing out, and I wanted to get one thing off. You know, obviously this nigga's gonna continue to crash out, but y'all don't have to do that. And the only reason why I block people on TikTok, I don't block people on any other things, but the only reason why I block people on TikTok is because my live streams are for teaching, not for trolling. I don't mind clowning a troll here and there, but typically I'm gonna block you anyway. So you want to get clowned before you get blocked? All right, come on up. Come on up. All right, let's keep going.
Sir? Wait, did you make a video talking about me in Africa? Wait, hold on. There you go.
Now you keep muting. Keep up.
Yeah, you would.
See how long many times you've been muting? And people keep saying you need to calm down, blah, blah, blah. You crashed out. Where? Where?
Hell is punk. You just saying shit. Okay, yeah, somebody said you made a video about me, but I think you just
now I'm laughing. I'm like, now I'm playing.
You're just jealous. This is jealous punk talk. You're trying to get caught. Okay, you a clout chaser.
Got you.
Yeah, you just trying to get clout out of you.
I'm like, ha, I got you at your character. I'm literally, that's what I'm saying on the other end. He keep muting it, but that's all I'm saying. I'm laughing. Ha, I got you at your character. You gotta mute me 30 times. Ha ha, nigga. That's all I'm doing.
Listen to you. Listen how.
And now he's like, listen to you. Listen to how silly you sound right now. You listen to you. You stop it. You're immature. You stop it. Yeah, you're bussified. You're bussified. Quit.
Sassy you are. Good grief. Okay. Good.
And he drops me. Now, from this point, we're going to listen to about 5 minutes of him talking shit. But he talks 20 more minutes. I say 20 more. Yes, 24 more minutes. He's had like a call or something in between there, but he talks about 20 minutes about how gay I am. After that, let's listen to a little bit of it.
Okay, you trying to get clout out of jealousy.
I'm going to smoke a little bit.
All right. You just clout chasing. You a clout chasing jealous clown because you ain't getting no views, basically. That's just jealousy talking. Somebody's like, he made a video talking about you in Africa. Okay, he's just saying anything. That's what I'm saying. All these straw man arguments. Yeah, let's get to the root of it, dude.
I didn't make a video about him being in Africa, but I did make a video about the Negro cloth. No, about the indigo. About the indigo. But this was before Negro cloth video.
Yeah, I'm like, what you saying, I don't disagree with. I don't see what you in Alabama. See, I was the first to say in Alabama they had to reclassify in the census in Alabama. What?
Oh, so you heard what I said. You just didn't know how to reply to it. Ah. Yeah, you heard what I said.
Yeah, I know that. No, I said it first. That's jealous talk. That's the jealous bitch. You know?
So again, me saying I said it first is not a jealousy thing. It's a you're taking Indian talking points, trying to deflect right now, and flipping them to slavery talking points And this is why I said this about Alabama. And I can tell you that you took that from me, unless you can tell me how you found this out and what source you use. But you know, you're not going to do that. You'll probably say slavery narratives. But okay.
Yeah, why are you mad? I'm not disagreeing with you. Yeah, I know they had indigo here. No, what you don't understand, it was 1,000 years. Yeah, I know. But how come you contribute corn on the cob to the slave? What? You know, he just keeps jumping from thing to thing. It don't make no sense. It's all.
I never wanted to jump from thing to thing. I had two main talk. I had one overall talking point with two examples. Overall talking point. Excuse me. Overall talking point is you take our talking points, contribute them to slavery, which erases us. The two examples, indigo and denim cloth and Alabama reclassification. Is that too much? Maybe you're not used to debates. Mm. Hmm. I know. Just said maybe you're not used to debates. Just he making shit up. Exactly. Yeah, right. Because now he's just gonna be talking to his audience and he just gonna spin it how you want to spin it. Because that's what you got to do now. You got to spin it as if you won, as if you had the upper hand and I was just crazy.
Emotional. This fool went from indigo to corn on the cob. That's jealous punk up. Now, see what you talking about everything slavery. Pocahontas had on some blue jeans. They had blue jeans with some indigo on it, and I can show you proof. I got receipts. See these Indians right here? That's a Gucci belt. See, you ain't teaching that.
So you're making fun of people showing receipts because you didn't. It wasn't like you said anything wrong. You said I can show you some proof, and I did show the proof, and then your proof. Oh, hold on. Were they not charging that whole time? Hold on, y'all. But yeah, he didn't show. I'm gonna play it. But yeah, like showing proof. So he like, I got proof. It's a Gucci belt. So I showed you proof of Chippewa Indians wearing blue cotton pants that was depicted on paintings, and that's idiotic of me. I shouldn't have done that. I'm an idiot of doing that. Okay, all right, let's keep going.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, right, you don't know because I got the scholarship. See, corn on the cob came from outer space, and some Indians came from outer space and brought the corn on the cob. You wouldn't know that, but you don't read like I do. You ain't got the scholarship like I got. Okay, why are you so? See, now I'm emotional because you ain't telling the truth about our history. It's erasing. You're erasing us. We're from the Chippewa mound builders.
He technically ain't wrong on some of this. Yeah, you don't read, nigga. You don't read, and we are better than you. And yeah, you are taking our talking points, and we are Indians. You just making fun of that at this point. Okay.
Okay. Good freaking read these sassy feminine dudes. Oh goodness, what's wrong with these dudes? What's wrong with these sassy? He's probably laying on this stuff. He's probably all excited. He's got to talk to Tariq. Yay!
Do y'all know how many men? How many men I've heard Tariq said was laying on their stomachs? At some point, you got to question a man who that's his go-to line for everything. He probably laying on his stomach and looking at me and thinking about Tariq. Yeah, yeah, y'all know I got my bag of Tariq jokes ready for you. He's laying on his stomach. Uh, he probably got his hand on the side of his face. What's my next talking Tariq point? It's stupid, idiots.
He wanted to trauma his emotions and feelings. Yeah, that was a trauma dump. I said it, but he said it first. I'm like, okay. Oh, I lived in Alabama as a kid. Well, as a child, you wouldn't read these documents. You didn't have what I got. As a child, I got the documents for adults.
So yeah, you heard it right. You just didn't know how to respond, and you want to make fun of the topic. But yeah, you did sound stupid saying hey, the way I know history is I grew up there, so I know the details of the census records and reclassification and the numbers in 1820 and all of that because I grew up there. And he said he grew up there as a kid. So you didn't stay there. So I know you didn't read these documents as a kid, and you're making fun of that. Okay. Hmm. I'm telling you, I don't think my bad, John. My shit is starting to overheat. If it starts to twitch a little bit on us, we'll just let me know. I should know it's once my computer get to heating up, it I gotta have it elevated. Really, I sit it on a black desk. You know your laptop. If you sit it on a flat surface forever and have it on and have a lot of shit running, the heat just radiates back into the computer. So I got it kind of elevated right now, so it can the fan to cool it down. So we're gonna keep it going. Let's keep going.
The hell are you talking about, fool? What are you talking about, little feminine thing?
I know, Sunshine, right, y'all, right, crew, right, like what's up, Z3, right? Like none of this make this is his logic. Like when if you come with any logic, anything, this is what you're gonna get. The only way you're gonna come at him with any real logic is you're gonna have to be groveling. You're gonna have to go through the channels. You're gonna have to like do something like I get in good with the FBA who's good with like Afro Elite, and then Afro Elite I start getting good with Afro Elite, and Afro Elite might mention my name to Tariq, and then maybe Tariq might listen to me and be like, "Huh, let me listen to this guy Samuel." Like that's going to be the only way to actually get. You got to play the king's game, the king flexes game type shit. But yeah, yeah, coming up on this plan on the panel where you can actually talk because he's not there for that. He's there to roast Africans and everybody else to make you feel like he's doing something, and then he'll call them time wasting tethers as he wastes your time. Okay, let's keep going.
What are you talking about? He just he wanted to trauma dump. This dude he's jealous and emotional. That's jealousy and emotions. Yeah. He didn't really have a legitimate argument. It's all trauma dumping.
What is a trauma dump? We'll keep it going. Let's keep it going. Okay.
I'm like, sir,
How is telling you where indigo comes from and how you're creating? How's that trauma dumping? Okay. Just choose whatever kind of way you want to describe the situation and let people go with. Yes, right, Tariq. I was in there. I was watching while I was trying to put in work. I was watching and catching the little comments going up. Yeah, Tariq, trauma dumping, man, it crazy. All that trauma. Everybody just following and everything. Every word he say, they just repeat it. That's a cult. But okay, let's keep going.
black people had a form of
Exactly. Empress said just what and you know what I gotta say, man. Special shout out to Empress, man. Uh FBA Empress. Like, when it first started to come out, she had hit your boy up on the back chat and was like, man, she ain't down with the him denigrating us, especially with the name saying Pretendian. Like I know that he upset quite a few folks just by putting Pretendian in there, to be honest. And I didn't, and then um, and then on top of that, you know what I'm saying, when it actually dropped, she started to listen. She didn't even hear the exchange, and she felt like she may not agree with. Well, she didn't feel like she may not. She just didn't hear the exchange, but she just, still optimistic about what she's gonna find in a sense, But like then when she was hearing it, she had to put in there like, he's trying to make. I forgot what it said, but she was like, he's trying to make a point, whatever, whatever. She tried to say something, and then eventually ended up muting her, like she wasn't talking reckless. Um, then you got to start thinking, and I appreciate you, Empress, for that because you ain't got to do that. Empress, FBA Empress has been on the game over there for a while, just like I was. I told her in the beginning when I first saw her coming over here to my channel when I was still a young. I said young, but not really young. Niggas old. I'm 42, but when I was young in the TikTok game, in a sense, like I was just getting started, and like I remember she was saying stuff to me about something and following me or something. I remember saying to her like, "What do you mean?" I said, "You the FBA Empress. I done heard your name many times. Like I was happy you was following me. That was dope." You know, and I've been happy about that ever since. And she's been coming through, getting games, supporting and everything ever since then. And then when she seen this, man, she didn't have to speak out. You know, she got FBA in her name, just like other people with FBA in their name. I seen them speak out too. And I appreciate all of y'all. Like much love. My heart goes out to that because people ain't you ain't got to do that. But and if I would have did something wrong or y'all had some kind of contention with me, it depends on what it was. But if you did, I'd try to listen to whatever it might have been. But if you come in here just saying that I'm picking and choosing stuff and I'm just taking stuff out of nowhere, like okay, just for also I got to give credit to Candace. She may not be in here right now. Candace had came into the live stream that I did right after that, and she was like she felt bad for it and all that stuff too. And then, but on a different tip, Sister Bridget was not the same. Sister Bridget, when she first found me on TikTok, oh Samuel, I'm so glad I found you. You look smart ass. You got this. You helped me find my stuff about family in Arkansas I never would have even thought about, and the documents and stuff. You ain't get that from Tariq. All this stuff and whatever. And then when I was over there looking in the comments while I was no, I was looking in the comments while I was on there. When I remember looking in the comments while I was on there, and she kept saying, "Samuel, why are you being so getting so wild or something like you had your chance, but you blew it by blowing your top or something like that." And then she was laughing out loud and throwing Tariq money, sending him corn after corn after corn while he was tirading about how homo I was. It's funny how homo I am. Like as we go through this part I'm showing you, throwing them all kind of corn during this part. She came in my live stream after that. Luckily, Candace had came first, so she warmed me up to the idea more that I don't want to get mad at every FBA per se. But I'm almost done smoking, and I'll be back on camera. But she warmed me up to the fact that that. But then I had to go up. But then Sister Bridget came in, and I didn't cuss her out. She's an elderly person. I just let her know very sternly, Sister Bridget. I didn't like what I seen in there, Sister Bridget. I didn't like the games and the laughs and the things that you said in there, Sister Bridget, while he was saying horrible things about me, Sister Bridget. Think you might want to stay on your side of the world for a while, Sister Bridget. Let's keep going.
It's called a Negro Club. Look it up. He looked it up. So out of the way, what's the primary source for this? I see it, but what's the primary source for it? Okay.
So so he's really made fun of me saying what's the primary source. He made fun of me showing. So I'm gonna show you right now. Okay, you gonna show me some. Okay. Oh, what's the primary source? You want the primary? Okay, you want a primary source now? Okay, I guess I got you ain't got nothing, nigga. That's your response? Okay.
Okay, sir. Yeah, that was a major cash crop. Indigo. Yeah, we made jeans on plantations. That was something that foundational Black Americans did. We were making jeans. It was really made for us. Yeah, we had that cheap cloth and we made the best out of it. And then the dominant society kind of started doing it. Oh, look at the Native American. Geronimo and them had some jeans. Yeah, okay. All right. God damn. Okay. Golly, man. Yeah, he was trauma dumping. You got a lot of dudes out here who don't nobody listen to. You got these dudes who don't nobody listen to. Nobody really pays attention to them. And when they see other black men like myself.
Y'all notice how he said that 3 times? Like Dr. Umar, like spelling, like casting the spell. I just caught that. I didn't think he did kind of repeat that 3 times. Nobody, we got these dudes out here that nobody listens to. Nobody listens to this dude. Like nobody listens to this dude. He's good at doing the Dr. Umar thing because you don't even realize the triple speak. I ain't ever really paid attention to it, Makes me want to start I ain't gonna listen to him that much. I can't. I ain't gonna listen to him. But if I was listening to him, it would make me want to start listening to how many times he might do the triple speed. It could be a one off, but let's keep going.
Just easily get, I can draw big crowds easily without even trying. And people like to hear what I have to say. People ask for me. I don't have to impose myself. If I'm not around, people are like, please come back. People ask for me to come around. They see that level of respect and they get real resentful because they don't have it. So it's like the ugly chick who sees the dimes get all the attention. It's always the ugly one like this. Oh.
That's right, Nikki. It's not about it's about the information, and he has been purposely raising his status up for all these years. And if you don't believe it, man, the only reason why you get on every day and hit hot topics is because you're trying to hit the algorithm. I've said this for years, man. His goal is to always hit the algorithm and get his numbers up. And how do you do that? You talk about hot topics. Hot topics is gonna boost you in the algorithm sometimes. And something's gonna hit over and over again. And now it's like, and then you put the keyword in the thing. Tariq talks about uh whatever, Oprah, whatever. And you talk about shit every day for years instead of putting in the work of researching like we doing for years. Um when you do that, excuse me, when you do that, yeah, you'll get your numbers up. Because I thought about doing it myself. I'm just not the type of person that likes to do monotonous things. I gotta have something new every time to talk about, to be about, to talk, And so like coming on every day trying to hit a hot topic just to say stuff to y'all, y'all deserve more than that from me. Y'all deserve me digging deep, trying to find shit, and coming back to you with the goddamn facts and cutting out all the bullshit in between that I didn't need to learn. Like when I went through thousands of letters, you don't have to unless you want to. If you want to, and I give you the source for that. If you want to go and find the letters and read through them yourself to validate and just go through them, here it is. But I've cut through the fat, and here's a little bit of the breakdown. So I've given you the place to go, and I gave you the breakdown, and I showed you where I got it from in the sources. So that's how I keep my game, and it ain't gonna never change because once you've seen it, it's hard to unsee it. You can hear anything, and that should go in one out the one in one ear and out the other. But once you see something, it's hard to forget all the time. Let's keep going.
That hair ain't really real. My hair looked like that when I was 8 years old. My hair was long too. Okay. My hair was
Yeah,
long
business.
first until like before I got alopecia. Okay, it's just trauma dumping, dude. It's trauma dumping. God. Then he started making weird little sounds and he got real sassy. Uh-huh. Okay. I got you. Okay.
Normal, other, typical Tariq thing. Have y'all heard this? If you've listened to him many times, he does this all the time. And then you got to really wonder how a man goes through and talk like this. Okay. And to make fun of people all the time. Like this is, yeah, it's and then you got to also think about the audience that laughs at it every single time. It's still funny. It's still funny. Okay.
Nigga, dude, roll off your stomach, my nigga. I ain't about to sit here and let a sassy dude trauma dump on me. That's what you need a therapist for, dude. Yeah, all that old moist acting. It sounded like he was snapping his fingers in a circle and all them sassy gotchas. Them gotchas was real sassy. He jumped in with some random shit. Oh, I got some, okay? I got some receipts for you. Look at this book right here, okay? Page 15, right here. Indigo, okay, was here for 6,000 years, okay? Okay, brother, I'm not debating that fact, sir. You stand on slavery. Slaves have, okay, nigga. Okay. I'm not really trying to argue with sassy niggas. I'm not trying to argue with no sassy. No, you don't want to argue. You don't want this pressure, Tariq. You don't want this pressure. I bring that heat. You don't want this heat. I do not want your heat, sir. I don't want none of it. I don't want none of it. Your heat smells like pussy. All right? I do not want none of it, sir. Excuse me. Nigga just saying anything. Everything, corn on the cob was here for 1,500 years. Okay, nigga, what? Who? Okay. Nigga start talking about corn to argue. I ain't about to argue with a nigga about no corn on the goddamn cob. The fuck I look like? I ain't about to sit up here arguing with a punk about no damn corn. The hell? What's wrong with y'all in these damn TikTok streets?
He's whittled it down to just talking about corn. Okay. Which you can tell that's what he put on um the cover there. So
Weirdos. Good grief. Pussified ass. Wanna argue? I ain't about to wanna argue about corn on the cob. Damn. What's wrong with these dudes, man? God. Somebody gift some corn. Send some corn gifts, all right? In honor of that sassy thing. Let's send some corn gifts. Do they got some corn gifts that we can throw up in here? Hold on. I wish they had indigo. Put up something blue and some corn. Yeah, this dude, I think he must have, dudes like that, they're motivated by jealousy. So I guess he practiced arguing with me. He knew exactly what he wanted to argue about. He had all of these weird ass talking points already ready. He had them all ready, these weird damn talking points that I don't know why he think I give a shit about any of them. Oh, okay. I'm here, Tyree. I'm gonna get on camera because I got receipts for you. Okay, first of all, indigo, okay, blue, BLUE, blue. That's how it's spelled. It's been here for thousands of years. I'm gonna show you some receipts. Hold on, let me get this book. Let me turn my camera around. Let me move my KY jelly out the way. Now, look, if you can see the screen, okay, right here, there's some Native Americans. They got on a blue catsuit. How do you think they got that, Kyrie? Mr. Hidden Colors. The color is blue for indigo, and it's been here for thousands of years, okay? Okay, nigga. Oh.
yeah, he's pretty much just disagree. Said this disagreement is saying what you meant about erasing our indigenous culture. Yeah, he's just really kind of reiterating, but just making fun of it. It says the man that pokes out his lips and white. Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah. Uh, let me get through some more of this. I won't be okay. Yeah, let me get some more of this.
Yeah. Indigo is blue and your pussy is red because it's sore. All right?
What? How do you even get to that? How do you get to something like that, y'all? Out of everything y'all heard me say to him, I didn't denigrate him one time, didn't call him out his name. I didn't get loud to a degree where I was yelling. I don't even think I even said a curse word that I can remember. The only thing you could say that might have been somewhat disrespectful would have been the tone of which at sometimes I came at it. And this is the treatment. And my bussy is red because it's sore? Huh.
God. Sore red pussy.
Nigga said he just triggered it because you knew more than him. Exactly, and that's exactly what I was thinking of that night, the night that it happened. The night that it happened. Make sure this. Okay, yeah, the night that it happened. After he dropped me, I was just sitting there listening, and you would think I would be upset, but I was just sitting there like, this is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Like this, that's all you got. You know what I'm saying? That's all you're gonna do. You know what I mean? But I was like, then the longer it kept going, I was like, oh yeah, I fuck with you. I fucked with you. You sitting there in your head, you can't believe this nigga just came up here with some shit. You didn't know have no talking points with it. You missed the history. Only nigga to say it was slave narratives, plantations had indigo. Your shit was horrible, and you know it. So you had to clown your way out of it. You got to make me seem minuscule in front of your folks. That's the only way to make up for the fact that you ain't shit.
And I ain't about to let you trauma dump on me. The hell wrong with you? Sassy as hell. Oh, goodness, man. All right, shout out to the corn emojis. Shout out to all the corn emojis, ladies and gentlemen. Lord, yeah. He practiced. Yeah, he practiced that. He couldn't. He was like, well, one day. Hold on. I mean, he was in the mirror. Well, wait, I can't wait till I talk to Tariq one day. Oh yeah, it's gonna be epic. When I talk to him, who I'm gonna tell him, I already know. First, I'm gonna start off about the indigo. Let me write down my notes. Indigo is thousands of years old. Ooh, I'm gonna kill him with that. Then I'm gonna get at him about Alabama. Ooh, I'm gonna really get him with that. Yeah, I'm gonna have the juice. I got the juice. This nigga, God, Lord, this nigga was sitting up practicing that horse shit.
It's horse shit. I agree with you, brother. I ain't, but that's horse shit. Okay.
Lord, he was sitting up practicing that. I bet he's been practicing for years. He's probably been hanging on every word. He's one of them dudes hang on every word and comes up with a bad faith argument about everything I do. Because somebody said he was mentioning me in Africa on some old sassy bad faith. Yeah, he's one of them dudes. I saw Tariq eating at McDonald's. Why you eating at the white man restaurant? You supposed to be pro-black. He one of them, just sassy, just coming up with any reason to whine about it.
Thank you, Alicia. I appreciate that. Much love. Thank you for everybody. Nikki, appreciate that gold medal. Much love. I know I love y'all. Embody Empress, thank you for the love. Thank you for the gifts. Empress Enchanted, thank you for the love. Thank you for the gifts. Shauna, Empress, Terrell, Sister Moon, thank y'all for the love. Thank y'all for the gifts. Soul Food, Rashida Rose, thank you for the love. Dominique, thank you. All of y'all Haitian, Janai, Redline the Calvin, Opium. I didn't even see Opium come up in here. My bad. Oh, if you're still in here, what happening? Native the Great, Tyron, all of y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. Much love to y'all. I'm gonna keep going. He said, "Cause you sue him?" Nah, I doubt it.
Coming up with any reason to whine about you a grown man
So
whining.
he's a legend in his own mind. Yeah, right. Exactly. And like even I would still give him a place as a Pan African like great in a sense, or yesteryears nice cool documentarian for black folks. I'll give you that. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't here to hate on everything he's done. Um this bull a lot of other, but it's still kind of planets because a lot of that shit at the same time was getting us geared to look at Africa, to be honest. So like even though it was tying us to here, yes, as foundation, oh, not as foundation, but for them, yeah, but it was tying them to America, yes, but it still had African ties, and that's how they do you. It's like as long as they can keep you, That's how they did the Seminoles. They was like, come on over here. We just gonna put you down on this paperwork. It's gonna be signing you up as a freedman. Now that's just a technicality, it's this whole Dawes Rose thing. I know y'all wasn't slaves. Y'all just got over here 4 years ago before the end of slavery, and y'all niggas got guns on you. So I don't know what we're gonna do about that. So and we got photos of y'all with your guns on you. So I don't know why you didn't put the gun down with the photo was being taken. So we know y'all how serious y'all are. So we're still gonna like trick you and put down in this little section where it says slave up. We gotta put a name there. We'll put your chief's name or some schoolmaster's name or some chief name, what some name. Maybe your dad's name, but they won't know. And when we put this paperwork in, you've now accepted the term freedman. That meant you was an African slave. So that negates you from getting part of that $52 million settlement that the Seminoles got because they said that you was a slave technically on paper. Technically. Didn't you accept that land allotment? Didn't you sign up for that land allotment? Well, I mean, you had to go through that freedman process for that. Yeah, yeah. If you want that land, you might have to let us fill out this paperwork. Little do you know we're gonna use it against you later on. You know signing up as a freedman made you an African slave, and your descendants later was gonna end up forfeiting their motherfucking uh what you call it. Now, if they could have proven that was done falsely, they probably could have won their suit. But maybe they didn't know how to tie themselves fully back or have the right argument. I don't know. I'd have to look at that. But they lost that by being claimed to be freedmen just for a little bit of part of their time in their life, nigga. Little part of the time in their life, nigga, they was claiming that freedman shit. And that fucked them up. So you think I want to claim any kind of African ancestry without it being on my tree? And even then, that would be an admixture if you would compare it to the amount of numerous Indians on my tree. I don't give a damn. I'm not claiming no African shit, but I ain't found one. And even if I did, I don't even. I'm not gonna find one. My folks come from goddamn Choctaw, Chickasaw area, nigga. I got one person that maybe came from the North Carolina, South Carolina area. My folks had been there before it was even established, before them white folks even established governments. Please.
Another man, studying me, just stalking. I wonder what Tariq doing. What did Tariq eat today? I bet Tariq ate some Wingstop. I bet he chewed it with his mouth. I bet it was good. I bet he liked it. Where he get the money to buy the Wingstop? Where we got the money from? Ooh. Is he?
Hold on. I didn't even know somebody did a super chat over here. Sorry, YouTube, and I ain't even been looking at my YouTube chat. I hate that I be neglecting my YouTube fam. It's 3060 y'all over there too, man. I love y'all. DJ Z up in the place. But I feel better about this. Louis says you cooked them so hard you got that clown talking about imaginary sore red pussies. You know what I'm saying? I feel better, bro, about this, man. Louis, man, and I appreciate that sentiment. And again, yeah, look, I can clown. Y'all, I done had many of y'all laughing up in here. You know what I'm saying? I could have easily clowned that nigga. You know what I'm saying on that. I kept it cool, and I'm glad that I kept it cool. And now I got to see how much he would denigrate. Because people, I say this to people all the time. A lot of people don't want to debate for real. They want to be right, and if you're not right, they just want to denigrate you. And the first person who starts denigrating, once you start denigrating them back, they'll start acting like a Karen and playing the victim. Oh, look at how crazy you acting. You crashing out. You've been talking shit about me for almost 20 minutes and muting me many times before. If I came back up on the panel, I should be pissed. But I ain't got time to be pissed in front of 1.5 thousand people that was watching or whatever like that. Nigga, I'm gonna try to stand on whatever the hell I gotta talk about. I ain't gotta shift around and talk shit and talk about bussy. I don't even think about that word. The only time I think about that word is when you say that word, Tariq. I don't hear nobody else, Even all the gay dudes that be on both sides, whether they be Pan Africans, whether they be Indians, whether they be whatever, they be on these panels talking hella shit to us or any other folks. I don't hear them saying that. So why does he use this word so much? That's wild. That's really wild. Okay. So that's his favorite word. Exactly.
They said disconnect with him. Oh, somebody said I got to disconnect with you uptown. There, I got a little thing. Yeah, they said I had to disconnect with you, brother. Uh, Lord, man. But brother, don't call up all that sassy, jealous energy. It was so sassy. It was so emotional. He got so excited. His heart was pumping fast. He was just jumping from subject to subject. None of it was making sense. I'm like, slow down, brother. I don't know what you're just all over the place. Just being sassy for some shit. I don't know what you're being sassy about. That's what I'm like. Dude, slow down. I don't know what you're talking about. And I know none of y'all know what he was talking about. The first of all, corn on the cob is ancient. Now, in Alabama, they have reclassified. See, look at these dates right here. These dates right here on the 1st and 15th in April. Brother, what are you talking about? Oh, you know what I'm talking about, see? You know what I'm talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about, bro. What do you say? If you listen, you don't mute me and everything, because I'm bringing the pressure to you, Tariq. I'm giving it to you, buddy. Nigga, what are you saying? I don't know. Calm down. First of all, nigga, why are you so sassy and emotional? Why you about to cry? Calm down, nigga. Yeah, he's gonna start crying. I'm like, calm down. He's about to cry. Now hold on, Tyreek. You know no damn indigo. You know no goddamn indigo was here, Tyreek. You know we predate indigo, damn it. You know, he start crying. The hell? The hell wrong with this dude? Now, I'm about to bring that person down, Rika. You ain't let me talk. And you know we had squash over here. We had butter squash. Where was supposed favorite, Tyree? You know we had that. How dare you say that? How come you didn't put butter squash in hidden color? You know it's indigenous, nigga. Nigga, if you don't calm down, the hell is wrong with you? Man up, man. I ain't talking to no crying dude. I'm not about to console you. Calm your ass down. The hell wrong with you? Feminine ass. Lord. Oh man, what's wrong with these dudes, man? Oh yeah, are they gonna make? Oh, is he gonna make a bunch of spaces? About he probably is. Is he gonna make a bunch of spaces? He's one of them. Oh, this. Oh, I guess this is the cloud.
He said I'm mad how about that shit, man. Funny. The way he did it, sometimes he can be funny. That's the only reason why you listen to Tariq. Every once in a blue moon nigga funny. You know what I'm saying? He's stupid.
I just don't. This is the new space.
But that's what it is. The answers he making it take it away. Everybody laugh. The few times he gonna get funny about this. I know you're talking about no Tariq. That's what. But yeah, that ain't what happened.
I just want to take a victory lap because I told y'all I was gonna tell Tyreek when I talked to him, I'm gonna get him with that corn. He didn't know what to do with that corn when I hit him with the corn. I told him, he's Lord. So yeah, he's okay. Yeah, he's gonna be a basketball wife. This is love and hip hop. You know how a talentless biatch gotta leech off of.
He said I'm a talentless biatch. And you're right, Empress. When does the learning start? And that be the problem. That's why I'm kind of dangerous because I can keep y'all laughing and learning, and we gonna learn a lot. We gonna learn. We gonna go deep, deep, deep. But it's gonna be fun and funny in many different points in time, and I'm a clown like a motherfucker, right? Clowning even just about the topics. I'm not even clowning. Think about that too. I'm making y'all laugh, and I'm clowning about the topics. I could be going into something, and I'm just like, I can't believe these motherfuckers, and I'm coming up with some whatever, whatever I be doing. I can't. I'm not really on the spot, nigga. I got to be going into something to really give you something funny, but I typically do that. You know what I'm saying? And um, and it definitely keeps thing interesting. And somebody told me the other day that I leave people on a lot of good cliffhangers that makes them not want to start. They was like, man, you like I had so much stuff I was supposed to do that day, and you had that 8 hour live stream, and to sit down and be like, what?
The dungarees, yeah. So yeah, talking about the white man's clothes. No, no, no. You better really understand history, sir, and
Hold
how
on.
our
I don't know how that. Some just I don't know how that happened, but she was like, then I leave him on the cliffhanger, and then this would happen, and she'd be like, I'd have to go, I'd have to keep listening, and then I'd be like, I'm about to go do something else. It's damn near 12 o'clock, and then you say something else, and now we on. So I was like, yeah, man, it could be that way. You know what I'm saying? And I love that. I love that. And that's what I got to try to do with my documentaries and with my films. I got to entertain you but get the game in real good. Show you everything I can show you. Super facts, super proof, hard in your face. Um, Now see, I wouldn't say no gay joke right there. When I just said hard in your face, I would have said that's what she said. See, that's the type of joke I do. See how the you see the type of jokes my mind be on. Y'all already know whoever y'all be following me. Y'all know my mind be on women and hetero shit. I done said way too much all the time. So yeah, so different. The difference between me and Tariq mindset way different, playboy. Way different. Jackson said, "Ooh, what's up, Jackson?" I don't even know if I said what up. I think I said what's up to you. Yeah, it's never that. And y'all know me, and it ain't like I got nothing against it, but I'm just saying personality. Don't be your mental is who you are, right? You live what you say in a sense. And I also don't go right here talk about people just and calling dudes that at the way of saying bussy talking. I don't do none of that. And I really despise it. Like I remember going when I first started working at AT&T and started working around a bunch of YT dudes. That's my first time working around a bunch of YT dudes. Prior to working at AT&T, at the call centers, I worked around a bunch of us, which was fun. But working with them, they always had those kind of jokes, but it's not that they was calling you that. It's just that they would always say certain kind of things. Oh man, they're gonna you gonna don't jerk me off like that. Why would you say what? I can't even think of all the wild things that they used to say. I used to tell them all the time, man, y'all a different species, dude. Like, the people I grew up around, my niggas, we don't talk about them things. We ain't, we don't say shit like that, nigga. So to hear Tariq do it all the time, you gotta really question it, man. You really gotta. And if he is that, I don't give a damn. But like, why are you talking about everybody that way? Why are you accusing everybody to be that way? And why is that your go-to? Well, okay. And he just called me a talentless biatch.
he's a basketball wife. You need a man for clout. He's a male basketball wife. That's what he is. You got to find a man to get some clout from. Man. Oh yeah, he's gonna try to get his own reality show, Life After Tariq.
I ain't gonna lie, that was a little funny, but fuck that.
Surviving Tariq.
But he's used that before, and I can't be mad. I'm mad that I laughed at it. He done used that several times. I've heard him say that many times. So you got to think too. The nigga ain't got no new jokes. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes he'll throw it in there and it'll be a little funny.
I remember years ago when I was on TikTok.
Cause none of this is what I did, but he's painted the story. So as he's done the crying and the homo like accent in a sense, whatever. I'm gonna say I ain't even gonna say homo, the bussy accent. That's what it was. Denigrate him, because that's his shit. But as he paints the picture, when he gets to that, it's the punchline. Because now in your head, that's what you're hearing as he says that, and it's funny. But what really happened ain't what was that, and I wasn't acting that way.
It was real late at night, and I was in a cold sweat. I woke up. I ate a piece of bagel that I had earlier.
She could be funny with some bullshit.
Had some juice on my dresser. and I tuned into Tariq live, and I tried to get on, and then he finally picked me, and that's when I knew the Lord was shining His blessings on me. I finally got to meet the great Tariq Nasheed, finally, and I was finally able to tell him about.
Yeah, you know what? I'm probably gonna do Tariq's a master. He's not really roasting. Like, to roast would be to actually say things that really happen or really about the person, and to really flip that up, and with some that's some really good wit. And he can do that sometimes too. I've seen a person say something and he'll flip that. I'm good at flip. I'll flip everything you say. I'll flip that motherfucking shit back on your ass and make it funny. And things you do. And if I can see you, I can probably clown about some shit too. But but to say the same things over and over again that you know has punchlines, eventually you start to say, you're not really a master roaster. You just got your go-tos. And when you paint the pictures like you do, and you find the right characters when they get into the certain character, or even if they ain't in that character, if you just want to push them in that realm, one of your characters is going to come out the bussy dude, or the crying dude, or the or the jive turkey dude that he be doing sometimes, right? He do that jive turkey this and that, where he made fun of like some older guys, or he has the same go-tos. But again, I laughed at it just now too, so I can't be mad at you. I did just laugh, but it is. I've heard it.
Great corn conspiracy, and I was gonna get him with all this pressure and all these receipts.
And yeah, you were talking about the comments too. Yes, I was planning on going to the comments and having a long live stream. I might come back and do that. I was really planning on having a pretty long live stream, but something new just popped up. Let's just put it that way. And I'm gonna make my way that way. Something, or you say, see, I'm talk about bushy talk shit. Something new. Nah, and not that we just meeting for the first time, but I didn't know that she was gonna hit me up right now. Like, can you come pick me up from this other show? Yeah, I can head that way. I think I got about 30 minutes left on this live stream, y'all. I'm cutting my live stream short. Bussy my ass, nigga. I'm cutting this motherfucking live stream. Better go see about this. Okay. Not okay. No, okay. Shit. And I wouldn't dare show the person because that wouldn't be right. But man, gorgeous. Okay, please.
And my mission is not complete. Like, okay, nigga. So this is his life. This made his life. I'm telling you. This made his life. He's about to write a book, and I'm going to be the first chapter. He's going to write a book. I just made his life. I gave this nigga something to live for. He's going to write a book. He's going to write an autobiography, and I'm going to be in the first chapter. When I first talked to Tariq, I had the tingle in my stomach.
Okay, at that point, it literally had another 6 minutes. 30 minutes, and about 7 or 8 minutes of that, 9 minutes of that was our whole ordeal, if that. So that was pretty much it. 20 some minutes of calling me gay, calling me a talentless bitch. Nobody listens to me, nobody watches me. I make no sense. Why the hell do I want to look at primary sources? That's so funny. Who cares about primary sources? Nobody cares about what you was talking about or the bullshit you're talking about. See how I'm got all this kind of right here, right for right now. Nobody cares about the bullshit you're talking about and all this other shit. 6,000 year old, who cares? Nobody gives a fuck about that 6,000 year bullshit. I'm not gonna talk about a nigga that talking about corn and all this other shit. Oh, okay, all right. So that's pretty much where we're gonna end it, y'all. Cause y'all know I gotta end it. But uh yeah, I'll be back on and we'll go over the comments because it was interesting. There were some people in there that was, of course, mad at what happened, and there was a bunch of people just on his side. And we'll look at the are they listening to the argument at all, or are they just clowning? We already know the answer, but we gonna have fun with it anyway, right? So, so what I'm saying that there's some. I ain't even gonna say this. Y'all be mad at me when I say what I'm gonna say. Sam, all those antics. I just um let me shut up. Okay, so I love y'all, man. Look, I'm gonna come back later, likely, and we will likely. So I'll be back later. Meet for the first time. And we're gonna talk about. We're gonna go through those, but we're gonna touch on these. Hold on, let me. It ain't even showing. I'm tripping. Hold up. I ain't even gonna say that, man. Right? Not saying nothing. Yeah, man, it's funny. What am I looking for? So yeah, we got things to talk about. Church wardens. We got to talk about the John Lawrence, who I found out is a church warden. And I was just talking to y'all about the Austin and Lawrence account book, which has slaves from South Carolina in it. And now I know that his people who carry his same surname was were church wardens. Oh, we got to connect those dots. Oh, we got to talk about more things on these church wardens and um the vestry of the gentleman and what is there's something about this trying to read it but real quick. Oh yeah, we got to talk about Thomas Penn, who's one of those proprietors they were talking about. When we'll connect that to the other newspaper article that told us that the proprietors are those who actually appointed those church wardens, and the church wardens would have the vestrymen, and those people would appoint your ministers, your pastors. And I think I know who those people would be. And I'm going to be looking heavily into them in Oklahoma because they are the people, and they call themselves the East Zion District in Oklahoma City. They are the collection of pastors in like an organization. And makes me start wondering, oh, is whoever over this, because they're the ones that disseminate all the pastors have to pay to be a part of this, and they're paying $10,000 or more a month of the church monies, people's money, to be a part of this. And there's got to be like a staff or like people that's over this, and there's a reason for it. These people disseminate like whatever shit these people are supposed to preach sometime and stuff like that. So are these one of the steps between the church wardens? I think the church wardens are really politicians right now. But is this like a step between the minister and the church warden? Or are they? I don't know. I got to do some heavy research into them. But who are these church wardens in these parishes? And I circled that, but for some reason, it says line near. Oh, as appears by a certificate signed by the minister and church warden of the parish. It says, okay, near Warren Ridge in the county of Berks, Yeoman has a son born on the 10th of whatever in 1725, as appears by a certificate signed by the minister of church wardens. Did I find the first birth certificate signing kind of situation, or around the first years of it? Did you know that the church pastors would sign the birth certificates. And now that you know that before birth certificates, it was baptismal records that they took loans out on your ass before they made a birth certificate. This ties them to the birth certificates before birth certificates takes the separation of church and state out and just has birth certificates. And they ain't got shit to do with the process no more. Now you're just doing religious shit just to kind of keep yourself brainwashed. But look, we got to talk about that. We got to talk about the shit that I found here. The reverends, the ministers, before they get to the church wars. We got to talk about all of these things that your boy done found, because this is what we do over here. We learn, we find, we read, we tell each other, and we get together with each other as heavy hitters in the game, and we and all of y'all in my audience, that's my main audience, y'all heavy hitters in the game too. We all are helping each other give ideas on what's being deciphered here. Y'all help me all the time. Oh, it means that. I appreciate it, man. I didn't even know it meant that. I'd have had this shit wrong if it wasn't for the help of some of the people in my chat. And we get to do this research and really figure this shit out. So I love y'all, man. Got to get off here. Uh, I might be